All right. Let's see where we at. So I got Corey Holcomb going on that tether. Hold on.
I'm not saying this with no spite or malice.
Peace, peace. All right. So B1 family. So Corey Holcomb going in on Godfrey, and I do not know what it is, but we got to get more on code. And those who are on code, though, and on code just means those who simply identify with one of the delineating terms, right? It don't matter if it's FBA, Adolf, Friedman, Solon. As long as you identify with a delineating term, that means that you're on code because you know how important it is to be precise, to be precise who we are and who we ain't, right? We got to divide, right? We got to cut ourselves out the cloth, right? When you have a piece of cloth and you want to make a clothing article and you cut pieces off out the cloth, let's say to make a dress, the other parts of cloth can say, "Oh, you're delineating." Like, what you mean? I'm going to be great. I got to separate from you so I can be great. So I can sell. I can make some money. I can have some value. If I'm just part of this cloth, we're never going to make money. The cloth itself is sold for cheap. But once you make a design out of that cloth, the cloth value goes up to whatever dollar amount you might want to have in mind. You dig, depending on how strong your brand is. Because the cloth might cost $5, $10. It might cost $2.50. But if you lit and you can make a brand that $2.50, that $5 cloth, you can make that thing cost 1,500. You dig? But it'll never be worth 1,500 just part of a whole big, large, useless cloth. So that's an example. That's an idea of what it means to delineate. As long as you're part of the cloth, the flat black, and you're not being great yourself, adding your own value to who you are. Because being flat black, the value drops. Okay. But when you come into your own design, your own self, now, hold on, got loud motorcycles. Now you become your own thing. And by becoming your own thing, you can put your own price. You can add your own price, your own value. Okay. So I can't pull over. Yeah, these tethers, yo. I act like I can't pull over. Oh, I was gonna say about Newark. I was gonna say something about Newark. Ah, God, I can't remember. Oh, Newark in New Jersey. I told my coworker, I said, yo, Dominican dude. I said, bro, I said, I guarantee you, cause he don't be in Newark. He be more South Jersey, right? Camden, Trenton. So I said, I guarantee you that Newark have the most car accidents. Now I don't know at all. I just know how people in Newark drive, and I just know Newark is full of tethers now. You dig? So you if you and I'm talking about the bottom 1% tethers, not the highly selected immigrants. The bottom 1% tethers who fled for their country and came here not to be great. At least the hyper selected immigrants come here to be great. The bottom 1%, they did not come here to be great. They came here to be worse, to carry on their degeneracy for the most part. Not every last one, but for the most part, they did. They came here to practice their degeneracy religion. Okay. Anyway, Newark is full of the bottom 1% fleers. They come over here, they file for TPS as an asylee. They got refugees, or they hope to get refugee status. Uh, Maybe a big tropical storm, typhoon, windy, whatever, and they come over here like that. Okay, earthquake, whatever. God forbid. Anyway, those are the bottom 1%. White people make sure to relocate the bottom 1%. You didn't know you got to go around me? I'm in a slow lane. Why would you even? pull up to me that hard. I'm in the slow lane. You go over. I just got wait. She's like, damn it, close to me to pull. Yeah, I'm in the slow lane. Getting it. Yeah, these folks can't drive nothing. Anyway, so the bottom 1% is in North. This is why North is so dangerous. It makes the most sense possible. Okay, so before delineation, I never second guessed who these people were. I automatically thought, hey, they're melanated. They're probably FBA, even though they look different. I still ain't think much about it. Hey, FBA, and Newark was crime ridden, degeneracy on another level, and we were getting the blame for that. Okay, and Newark. Now I don't know. Okay, because now I'm looking now. I'm listening to the language. I'm looking at flip flop and one basketball shorts with a fishnet shirt. So everybody's still behind me. I'm in a slow lane and people still behind me. Okay. Yeah, you got to get over. I'm in a slow lane, my guy. I'm not going fast in a slow lane. Okay. So now we're looking at Newark like, because I'm saying it's filled with Africans and Haitians. And you got Jamaicans too, but for the most part, I'm seeing Africans and Haitians. And there's some Jamaicans, but you don't see a lot of Foundation Black Americans in North New Jersey. So I'm like, when did this happen, or was it always there? You dig? When I say always there, I'm talking about maybe early 2000s, like 2010, 2002. Like when? Because that's when it came to America. North to the Florida to east, up north, and massive millions of numbers. So I'm like, I wonder if it was tethered the entire time, committing all those degenerate crimes, while white America systemic no, when America is not white while systemic racism blamed us, knowing they just brought a bunch of they influxed a bunch of degenerate bottom 1% immigrants. Because let me tell you this, the hyper selected immigrants, the ones that are handpicked, the ones who are chosen, because like we always talk about, hey man, these guys are team white supremacy and like, but we had no proof. Well, I brought y'all the proof like 2 years ago, and I brought y'all the correct term. It's called hyper selection. That's the white supremacist lottery draft, where they go and hand select the best people from different countries, and they say, we need you, you're with us. And those folks are allowed to live amongst white people. They're not going to the project, and that's why they have a certain like outlook on it, because they got granted white access, and like they was never told by white people to stay away from us. It was the vibes. Like they did the math. Nobody verbally told them. You think white people that's clumsy? These folks just understood, because many conversations happened, amongst them, and they realized white people never brought us up, or if they did, it was always an unfavorable conversation. So they just did the math. It was like, you know what, white people don't rock these FBA. They're like, good, because we want to be their pets. We want to be their pets, FBA. We want to replace these guys. So whatever they ask us to do, we're going to do it. And they've been doing it right or wrong. And that's why when we have our March for Justice, boycotts, protests, they are nowhere in sight. As a matter of fact, you guys don't even see these guys when you're shopping, when you're bowling, at the movies. You don't see these Africans at all. They purposely avoid you. I don't even know y'all, and I'm that confident. You don't like, unless they got a. Now listen, don't get me wrong. If there's an enclave, if there's an African enclave, obviously, but you got to go to them. I'm saying they're not coming to you. They purposely know where you go, what time, what day, and they avoid those times and days. Okay? They don't want to. They don't want white people to mistake them as like maybe linking up with us. So they completely avoid it. Completely avoid it in all ways. Okay, but they're the hyper selected. They are the first round draft pick, for white people as far as immigrants. And these guys are not going to be caught slipping by the police. When they say, hey, if a police officer pulls over, listen, Listen, we're talking about first round draft picks. You think a Fortune 500 company that hand select the immigrants from Nigeria, China, or India, you think they're gonna allow a trailer park trash white tea cop just violate them? They put so much money in this. Well, they ain't put no money on, but he came to make them so much money. They like, oh no, you not. You ain't gonna touch them. You're gonna go to you can touch the one percenters, the bottom one percenters, but you cannot touch hands off the top one percenters. Don't touch them. Hands off the top one percenters. And that's pretty much what you see. But Newark, I'm like, yo, how long was Newark like this? Was it like this when Newark was making the news and movies about it? Was these folks populating Newark like they are now? It makes me want. I'm like, because it fit right. That's about the time. Because they came here in the millions in the 2000s. There was a big immigrant boom in the 2000s. So I got to start asking some people I know from Newark, like, yo, do you recall seeing a lot of Africans, Jamaicans, or Haitians in Newark around 2000, around 9/11? I got to ask that because I don't want to jump to conclusions. Okay, so we might have a guest coming on. Invite yourself up. I will allow you on. Invite yourself up. I will allow you on. Okay. Yeah, so like that was like an epiphany for me. Like I wonder how long this been happening. How long it's been going on? Okay, so they moved Barnes and Nobles over there. All right, that's good to know. Okay, and I was gonna say one more thing about Newark. I can't remember. Oh, so yeah, it turned out that Newark is number one in New Jersey as far as accidents, and it's not even close. So these folks, like just now, if I wanted to, I could have ran into this chick. All they do is yield through stop signs and run stop signs. It's a culture. And look, a lot of the Newark police officers are African, by the way. A lot of the police officers in Newark are African. So they are just degenerate as the drivers. So like they don't see nothing wrong. But yeah, Newark is number one in car and automobile accidents in New Jersey. Number one. Ain't even close. And who's surprised?
Godfrey and people like Godfrey. All I know is them smiling with us to get what comes with being with us. But when they're in their group or groups of other people, they make sure they let it be known. Oh, I'm this. I'm not that. This is all I know. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. And it's not just him. I'm saying when they are in with us.
There was another content creator on TikTok that actually mentions
Godfrey was known because he stayed chasing. When I started seeing videos of Godfrey being pro-black, shocked. Godfrey was known because he stayed chasing after snow bunnies. Like, I mean, everybody knew that. Like, everybody knew Godfrey stayed.
God, yeah, I didn't mean.
Godfrey was known because he stayed chasing. When I started seeing videos of Godfrey being pro-black.
So it looks like our guy Corey Hope the sheet out. This is gonna be good.
Hey, what's going on? Hello. Did you mean to hop on? Okay, mistake, no problema. Right? No problema. Yeah, I'm pulling up to a restaurant, and the first person I see, family, or I should say the first melanated person I see is Asian. I mean, I'm not even in Newark anymore. family. I'm not even in New York anymore. And the first person I see is an Haitian. I mean, yo, they are all throughout New Jersey, yo. The Haitian representation is all throughout New Jersey. And it's really hard for me to discern them from an African. But it's kind of easier because Haitians will make a better attempt to dress like us. So that's when you know it's a Haitian, because they'll make a better attempt to dress like us.
I mean, every day that goes by, more and more people are.
Hollywood shit. Godfrey grew up and this with no them smile people.
When I started seeing videos of Godfrey being pro-Black, shocked. Godfrey was known because he stayed chasing after snow bunnies. Like, I mean, everybody knew that. Like, everybody knew Godfrey stayed up under a snow bunny. A lot of second generation immigrants have absorbed our culture because they don't really know their culture back home like that, except for from their parents. And they either want to be with the YT, or they try to come into our culture, or they try to find somebody else, people of color. They try to find somebody else to latch onto as a group. And so in order for them, and their parents do this too, but for them, in order for them to survive, they jump in and out of different loyalties when it suits them, like when the context suits. And I feel like Godfrey was doing that.
But when they're in their group or groups of other people, they make sure they let it be known. Oh, I'm this. I'm not that.
Ooh.
This is all I know. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. And it's not just him. I'm saying when they are in their surroundings, they want to make sure they blend in with us because they look like us. Hey, what's up, brother?
Akata.
But what that's what they say when they in their group. What are we? What do they call us?
Akata.
Akata. Akata. Akata.
And
yeah, they had an interesting little segment in the 154 podcast about the word Akata with Van. And they still didn't quite clear it up to my liking. So much for all the people that were saying, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. It doesn't mean what you think it means. No. That word still has teeth and a history, no matter how they try to repurpose it or change it.
saying like this is an elephant in the room that has never really been dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do about these people that smile with us when they are allowed to be around us? And then when they get in their groups, they're against us. In fact, they will get with the establishment over us.
Damn.
Shit, low key, this like the third group. It's been happening. It started with the Chaldeans. I think they
Started with the who?
Chaldeans, the Arabic people. They over us now because they used to try and act black.
Michigan.
Now,
People don't know about what you're saying, the Arabic people, because them motherfuckers don't even claim to be, they claim to be white.
well, out here they call them Armenians. My bad.
Most of the times they do it when they're not in your face. They'll make sure they establish themselves as something else. But when they're around you, hey, brother, my brother,
My
all
brother.
that shit.
And
Man.
they do business with people that we can't really do business with.
When you say do business with people we can't do business with,
With each other.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying I can't do good like white people. They normally wouldn't go for my look. You know what I mean? Or they dealing with them because I don't know, man. It's
but
like,
check it out. It's some Caucasian people who will deal with you. Some Caucasian people who have the confidence to look at you and talk to you.
Yeah, you right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
So
right.
we can't say everybody.
Yeah, you right.
We can't say everybody with the tethers. But what I'm saying is, most of the ones I know,
Yeah, this is so funny hearing Corey Holcomb say tethers. Yeah. So funny.
in front of me,
It's one thing.
they the homie.
Yeah.
But when they get in their group, when they get in a situation where they can receive, which is why they came here to receive. We didn't come here to receive. We got kidnapped and brought here and made to do all this.
And by the way, the kidnapping he's talking about, Africans kidnapped us, Africans sold us to whitey people. That's the only kidnapping that happened. Ghana actually apologized that in 2006. It's called like Operation Joseph. And Joseph, they talking, Joseph, the story of the Bible with Joseph and his brothers. They're talking about that, how Joseph was sold into bondage by his brothers. And the story came back, they ended up needing him. Like karma hit them back, karma got him back. Joseph becomes second in command in Egypt, or third in command, whatever. And Joseph was a big dog in Egypt, and his brothers had suffered a famine. They needed food, and they had to come to Egypt to get the food. And the guy they came to permit the food was their brother, Joseph. So they sold their brother into bondage. That's Joseph. But don't let these tethers backdoor themselves into our lineage by claiming Israelitism. Not happening. So they call it Operation Joseph, something like that, in 2006. And they apologized for their words for kidnapping and selling us to whitey people. So the only kidnapping that happened was Africans kidnapping us, enslaving us, and then selling us to whitey people. 2006 Operation Joseph, something with Joseph. Go look it up. That's a fact. Okay, I don't say stuff that ain't easily Googleable.
Some of us were already here.
Do you see the difference? We didn't come here to receive. We were kidnapped, made to say names like Corey, Mar.
They were enslaved.
Vaughn.
No matter what the difference. Let me get into the part where he actually
put out there. And this word is called tether. So the other day, I just looked on my phone. Let me say, what is the definition of the word tether? I was laughing at this shit. Thai. Oh shit! This motherfucker went to Thai restaurants. Phones ain't shit, man.
I thought they were gonna go to tether.
Show the definition of tether again, bitch.
Oh damn.
Now the bitch act like she don't hear me, just like the bitches I be fucking with.
Oh my god.
Hey, Nair. Look up tether. What is the definition of a tether? Look at this shit. It's fucking hilarious, dog.
And Tariq comes up with that term by way of Get Out director and
used to tie an animal or object down so it cannot move too far away.
I love that. He said a rope.
So what Corey did was he looked up the literal definition. So tether is y'all ready for this? Tether is a polysemous word. It has several meanings, just like black, and I'm gonna get into it. So I got a deeper breakdown about black. The only deep breakdowns about black, and I'm saying in the context of human beings. The only time we hear deep stuff about black is through me on TikTok. I'm FBA News and Updates, and on YouTube I'm Blacks, BLAX. The X represents the same thing that an X did in Nation of Islam, right? So Blacks, news and facts on YouTube. Okay, nobody breaks down black when it's applied to people better than me. If you think Smile out there, recommend their channel or quote some of the stuff they talking about. So I got a deeper breakdown of black, and I'm introducing a word to y'all. It's called polysemous, like polygyny, right? Polytheist, polysemous, and it's a word that serves different meanings depending on context. I was trying to tell you guys when I was debating about black, who's not. They think when we say black, we're talking about them. It's like, no, black is a polysemous word. It carries different meanings based on the context. And the context we use, immigrants are never involved. It's a lineage thing.
Used to tie another animal down so it cannot move too far away.
So anyway, they should have told Corey to ask how Tariq Nasheed defines tether, or how FBA's define tether. And he would have got more joy out of it.
The other definition, tether.
restricted.
The horse had to be
movement.
tethered to a post.
And
I fucking
my
love
grandpa
this
built me a
word.
tether ball. And
Is it another definition? Because I saw one
Y'all leaving
when I
tether?
asked
See, tell them all.
on the iPhone what was its definition. It was hilarious to me because this is so amazing how this word gets under the skin of people because they know it describes them.
Damn.
Go ahead, give it to it.
A line to which someone or something is attached as for security. The limit of one's strength or resources.
A line to which someone is attached for security.
I mean, that describes it perfectly. Because basically, you got black lineage over here. You got American blacks, and then whatever we do, they come in and then they pretend to be affiliated or with that idea, and they disrupt it.
Well, I mean, like, well put. But see, this is what happened. There was a group of us who were kidnapped and brought over here, and we built this motherfucker for nothing. We were slaves. Do you ever hear this stuff on TV?
Yeah.
On Roots.
I mean,
That's
like, when
about
I
it.
watch NBC, CBS, they never, you hear never, the people who were kidnapped from their homeland, Africa, were brought here on boats that they filled up to the point where they had to just throw motherfuckers overboard as they died because they didn't make it all the way from Africa to here on a boat without a motor on it.
And yeah, of course, reclassified on paper. If you have an indigenous population here that is also black, they blend in quite well with the newly arrived people that were kidnapped from the west coast of Africa. Yes, that amalgamates a whole group. It's funny, that never really gets talked about on a regular basis. It's a dirty, huge secret that needs to be talked about in the history of America. And I'm sorry to all the people out there that are so fatigued with black people. We haven't been talking enough about some of these things because it's obvious you don't understand their severity.
Niggas rolling.
Right. I might be exaggerating without a motor, but I'm just saying. We took the slow way here, and it was so packed. All the people who died from the piss and feces and starvation, they threw them overboard where they said the sharks would follow these boats.
Yes, that's true.
For miles.
It's barbaric. Middle Passage.
These people who landed here were made to build this nation for nothing. I'm giving you the background because it's got to be said in 5150 terms. Ignorant terms, whatever they want to call it. Wait, somebody said, let me go back down before I go. Go back down right there. Somebody said,
There's nothing wrong with layman's terms. It's not ignorance.
Wait, somebody said, let me go back down before I go. Go back down right there. Somebody said, every immigrant is not a tether. Stop that. Isn't a tether.
That's true.
Just the ones who go against us. That's not true, my brother,
In
George
essence.
Staples. But look, back on this. So we built this nation, and we never got paid for it. So there is a group of people who are here. This is why Tariq say foundational black Americans. We are the people who had to put it together under whip, chain, all that. We had to put it together for no money. Murdered, slaughtered as we go, never treated fair on purpose. So the group of people that remain from the people that were brought here, to basically be slaves and build this country, I think those are the people who Tariq is calling foundational black Americans. And he's going to come on the show eventually and talk about this because I just think it's fascinating that he made this point. And he used the word tether. And this word has gotten under the skin of people who fit the description of this perfectly.
Oof. Anyway, what y'all think about that, man? Corey Holcomb himself is finally coming around on the foundation. You can fight the wave as much you want, or you can be an ally and not be a tether. That's the place we need to be, man. But
Hold on, TikTok. Hold on. God damn. The video ended too fast.
But no,
you're not Irish, are you?
I've got a British accent. I'm not related to the Queen.
I'm talking
That's
about,
not my question.
Are you British?
I was born in London.
Hold on. God damn, man. The video ends when I'm about to fucking eat. Really? Hold on.
Well, black people have been identified as African American since 1782. So why we want to change identity? No. There was a book in 1782 by some obscure preacher who used the word African American, and it wasn't used until really the 80s, the late 80s. He used it one time in that book, and a damn century went by before it was used again. We never used the term African American in the 1800s, early 1900s. We just never used the term. Just because it was in a book that one person used one time, we didn't call ourselves African American en masse. Anybody who says that is a damn liar. All right? We didn't use African American. And in fact, there was a pushback against the word African. Now, people would use African church and the African Methodist Church. They would use African, not African American. They would use African for certain things. Late 1700s, early 1800s, they would use African and use African American. But there was a major pushback against using the word African. You understand? Especially coming around 1817. Around 1817, it got real heavy, particularly because of the American Colonization Society. All right? The American Colonization Society, they were going to try to finesse us to feel like we're perpetual foreigners. The American Colonization Society, they were behind the whole Liberia finesse. And it was white slave owners and white tea elites and all that. It wasn't a black grassroots thing at all. Why were white tea slave owners pushing for free black people to go to Liberia? Why were they doing that? Because people think that it was a bunch of former slaves who went to Liberia. No, it wasn't. It was a handful of free black people. Why? White slave owners wanted the free black people to get the hell up out of here, because that was a problem for slavery, because when people escaped, the free black population would help them. You see, so they were really trying to do something about the free black population. You see, and many of the free black population, they were deeply mixed in with native populations. Many of them were black aboriginals. So they ran this finesse. Hey man, there's a place over there. They ain't got no racism called Liberia. Don't y'all want to go over there? Since y'all using the word African and all that, hey, we can send you right over there. We can get the money together and send you to Africa. You see? Yeah, they wanted the land. They wanted to get some of these people. Remember, why were so many black people free? Why were there such a big free black population? Why? Because many of them were mixed in with Aboriginal. Because if your mother was a native, you were not supposed to be enslaved. Many of the free black people had a native mother, a native grandmother. We got to put everything in the right context. And they were big landowners. So they're like, hey, we need some of that damn land. So let's Africanize these people. Let's really pump up that African thing. And let's get a movement to send them over there. Now, most foundational Black Americans, we saw the finesse. There was a major movement. Most of us were completely against the whole American Colonization Society. In 1817 in Philadelphia, and I'm going to talk slow because I want y'all to fact check the stuff that I bring to you. There was 3,000 Black people, 3,000 in Philadelphia who gathered at the Bethel Church in Philadelphia. And they confronted the American Colonization Society. They said, this shit about sending people to Africa, you can kick rocks with that. They said, we condemn everything you do. You are not going to exile us from the land of our nativity. This is the language they were using, the land of our nativity. They were talking about this land here. This is the language they were using. They were asserting birthright and blood and sweat equity into the land. They were saying, hey, this is our birthright. This is our homeland right here. Our ancestors built this place. This is the language they were using then. They understood the word African. It became politically dangerous in the whole age of colonization, because remember, this is the same time they were colonizing Africa majorly. 1700s, early 1800s, putting the word African in institutional names, the Free African Society, African Methodist Episcopal Church, all that stuff, these African mutual aid organizations, it was supposed to represent like racial solidarity, global solidarity, shared ancestry. The political environment changed, all right? They wanted to make us seem like we were foreigners here. So they were like, yeah, let's really play up that Africa talk. Yeah, this ain't your proper land then. Right. Yeah, you're African. So yeah, this is not, you're a foreigner here. And around 1835, there was a national convention where all the brothers and sisters, they were urging Black people to remove African from the titles of all of their institutions and their churches. And many of them did it. This is 1835. Y'all look all this stuff up. They were saying, hey, take that African shit off your buildings, take it off your schools. And the thing is, it wasn't like we're not denying African genetics. Man, we're not doing that. This is the narrative. But we're American. They're saying, listen, we are from here. This is a land that we built. They knew that they were important to the infrastructure of America. We knew we built it. And we knew that, hell, having African genetics, that doesn't make us foreigners. And they're like, yeah, we might have some African genetics. Some of us have indigenous genetics, but we are from here. They were emphatic about that in the 1800s, ladies and gentlemen. They said, hey, listen, we done fought in all these wars over here. We fought to make America a country. Our labor funded this country. We knew this. And there were colored convention movements all over the United States. They had like 600 plus conventions called the Colored Conventions, a color convention all over, specifying, hey, this is our land. This is our land. I mean, from like the 1830s to the 1890s, they had tens of thousands of foundational Black Americans all over the country standing on lineage business. You see? Even Frederick Douglass, he made the argument, hey, we are American. This was in 1849. He was doing his speech. He was like, listen, discussing the future of Black people in America. He said, we are here. This is our country. And even in 1853, at one of those colored national conventions, he kept saying, we are Americans. He said, look, we're not aliens. We're not exiles. We are American citizens on our native soil. All right? Man. Harriet Tubman, she even said at one of those conventions, yeah, they're trying to send us to Africa. We ain't going. We're too deeply rooted here. This is Harriet Tubman talking, 1800s. You had people like James Forten and David Walker. David Forten, he was a wealthy brother who was a privateer during the American Revolutionary War. And he became like a very wealthy sailmaker with boats and all that stuff. And he wrote that listen, Black Americans were contented in the land that gave us birth. He was talking about America. This is the language they were using. And in David Walker, he had a pamphlet called David Walker's Appeal. He broke it down heavy. He said, look, Black labor, Black suffering, Black sacrifice enriched this nation. He repeatedly rejected colonization. He demanded that Black Americans not move one step from the country their labor helped create. This is the language they were using in the 1800s, ladies and gentlemen. They're talking like us. They were talking like us, ladies and gentlemen. You see? So yeah, we were standing on lineage business. Major. Y'all look up all this stuff. We were rejecting the African word then. Yeah, we're not going nowhere. Even then I played that clip of Dr. King. Hey, they don't like to talk about how Dr. King was sounding like the FBA grassroots. Dr. King was like, hey, shout out to Africa. That's our ancestral home from back in the day. You know, respect to Africa, but we ain't going to no Africa. We ain't going to Africa. We stand right here in the land my grandfather built. This is Dr. King. You know? Yeah, we're talking like them. See, this is ancestral memory kicking back in, family. Yeah, I'm saying that they sound like us. We are sounding like them. All right? He said, this is our land, right? This is our land. And then he and Dr. King went deeper. He was like, yeah, before 1620, before they came to Plymouth Rock, we were here. Before the Constitution, we were here. He was breaking it all the way down. Yeah? Yeah, I played the clip, Scorp. I played the clip last week. It's a speech. Damn it, I can't think of the name of the speech. Go to my YouTube channel, go to my Tariq Radio YouTube channel and look up the video that I did like last week of me breaking the Dr. King video.
I'll play it. I got it.
Down. It's recent. It's a recent video. All right. Man. It's on my YouTube channel. Yes, it is. All right. Let me see. All right. What's that, Bliss? Miss Bliss, what you saying, Bliss? You should stop and see the work you're doing. What's up, Bliss? All right. Let me see. So you below. What's up, FBA Jalen? All right. Y'all create a war between people again. Who is that? What's your name? Gonali. What's your name? Gali. Galexi. What's your name? Hop on in, Ga. Whatever your name is. Hop on, ma'am. Hop on. Can you hop on and explain what you're saying, ma'am or sir? All right. You said somebody create a whole war. I want to hear about this war. I would like to hear about this war. Galilee. Hop on. Yeah, you denying the hop on request. Hop on if you say something, and that's mandatory. If you don't get on, I'm going to block you. So I'm going to have you get on, because if you say something, I would like for you to elaborate on it. And if you don't elaborate on it, I'm just going to have to block you. All right. And you got 10 seconds. Okay. And if you do not get on in the next 7 seconds, you got 7 seconds left. Okay, I'm just going to block you. Got it. We'll just do it like this. There you go. You up out of here. All right, let me get some more people in here. Yeah, you get on and you get off. All right. Yes, indeed. You better get on here.
Oh, God. Yeah. These smartphones are ridiculous, man. Ridiculous, yo.
Say what you need to say. Don't say shit in the chat room. All right. Now, family, raise your hands, ladies and gentlemen. Raise your hands and let's get the family in here, because we are in here deep. All right. Let's get the family in here. Raise those hands. Let's get Ty. Let's get Ty in here. I saw your hand up earlier. What's up, Ty? Oh, that's a Black Receipt. Black Receipt, what's up, brother?
Peace and blessings, King. Peace and blessings. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Chilling. I wanted to know, Well, I want to ask you two questions. What you think about the Stephen A. Smith situation in the NABJ? They were giving him a thumbs down award, and you know, Roland Martin is on the list of the. He's vice president of the NABJ.
Okay. Okay.
And also the little roundup they did at the little university with the YT thing doing selling rugs. What do you think about that? Because
I don't know
they
about
didn't
that.
name anybody.
I don't.
The little fraternity.
I don't know about that one. See, that one I don't know about. I don't know about that one. Well, thank you, brother. The reception is kind of bad.
Yeah, that phone,
Yeah,
man.
I'm trying to get all the details about that Stephen A. Smith situation and the NABJ and what the whole thing was about. I'm still gathering some more information because I know he responded to him, so I'm still gathering more information on that. Is that Antonio or I am somebody? I'm not something.
Yo.
Antonio?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, Tone?
Hey, look, hey, you was talking about the Dr. King speech. I sent you a DM about a week ago where Tavis Smiley was talking to Whoopi Goldberg. She was on the same FBA business like 20, 25 years ago.
Oh yeah. I saw that. I saw what. Yeah, she was like, yeah, how she's American and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah,
find
a lot
that
of
video.
us.
I can't
Yeah,
find
a
that
lot of
video
us
for
were
nothing.
on that. A lot of us were on that for a minute.
I can't
Yes,
find that video for nothing, bro.
indeed. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, man, they do not like us standing on lineage business. They don't like us doing that because
At all.
when we are standing on specific lineage business, we can't be finessed with the whole fake minority coalitions, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot be finessed with that whole fake minority coalition umbrella.
Hello, what's going on? Hello, you meant to hop on? Mistake? Was that a mistake? You meant to hop on?
No, I just said hello. I meant to.
Okay, what's going on?
What's going on?
Not much. You can, you know what I mean? You selected the invite button. So I'm saying, what's up? Talk to us. Yeah. Beautiful name, right? So I was just reacting to Tariq Nasheed video. Well, so the topic is actually black.
What is black?
Yeah. That's the topic. And what really who is right. Like who is like what is black? Who is black? Like for example, how do you identify?
I'm Senegalese Ghanaian American.
Okay. So do you guys identify as black? No, right?
Yeah, we identify as black.
But you just identified as Senegalese Ghanaian. You black too?
Ghanaian American because that's my heritage. My ethnicity is Senegalese Ghanaian.
So what is black?
Black American it's a demographic towards Black Americans living in America who have been victims of chattel slavery.
So how are you black then? If it's for the DAS people in America?
Because in other parts of the world, the people are recognized for their blackness.
Who recognized them for their blackness? Was it themselves or the white man?
Well, the system of race was created by
white
people.
Right. So you're saying white people called you dark. Well, they didn't say black. They didn't speak English at that time. So they said Negro, right?
Yeah, it called us in black in different languages.
No. You can't use that. See, black is a polysemous word. That's why I'm breaking down black. So hold on. Just listen real fast. I'm sharing something that you may know or may not know. Negro.
I believe somebody's black is somebody is dark skinned, who's brown skinned, who's type 4. That's pure black, and then somebody who's.
Oh, so you agree that black is a polysemous word? It carries different meanings based on the context, right?
If you're dark, if somebody who's dark skinned is typically married, let's say marries a dark skin, the kid's coming out dark skin with type 4 hair, and then let's say that dark skin marries a white woman, that kid's coming out biracial, lacks the stimulus of type 4 hair, and then let's go to dark skin to brown to light skin. Somebody that's type 3 to type 4 is black adjacent. Somebody that would be somebody like dark in the dark skin, where me, a biracial person, that we get to about 75% black, 25%.
Wait. How are you percentage of a color? Like I thought you're percentage of your genetics. So like you're either no, you're not. No. That's not how that works. So for example, if you take a DNA test, would the word black be there? Would it say you're 15% black?
No, it would not say that, because that
Right.
was a term created by the white people.
No.
It would say
No. But black.
It would say
Wait, hey, my guy. We got to talk together. You've been dominating the phone call because you don't want to hear what I got to say. White people did not create the different definitions of words. Like, for example, stop the cap, that's 3 English words. White people didn't create the definition, Foundation Black Americans did, and that means stop lying. You feel me? So we also, that's called a connotation. So words are polysemous. You missed when I said that. Words are polysemous. They carry different contextual meanings depending how you use them. So for example, a Nigerian could say the word akata, and that could be a wildcat, that could be a Nigerian who went abroad, and that could be a Black American. So it takes on different contextual connotations based on how they want to apply it. So if they apply it to their own, it ain't the same definition as they apply it to an actual wildcat or a Black American. So it takes on 3 different contextual definitions. So did Negro. So wait, back to Negro. So when white people went around calling people Negro no longer, they didn't use it as the color black, like a crayon color. They use Negro to be equivalent to slavery. So everybody so everybody who they tag Negro, they were saying these folks need to be enslaved and they're inferior and they're primitive. So they didn't just simply say, hey, you're a dark version of us, we're a lighter version of you. No, it was an inferior derogatory word. So now black, historically, before Black Americans got a hold to it, black was used derogatory. It was used to describe dark skin, but in a negative way. So right. So they didn't just say, hey, this person is dark. It was this person is dark and ugly. Like Biggie Smalls kind of used those lyrics. So one more thing. The proof Negro don't just mean black. It means those who can be enslaved. Moors. Are you familiar with some history of Moors?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you familiar with the history in America?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the history that the Moors went to Spain and Europe.
No, I'm talking about America, not Spain. America. Are you familiar? Yeah, in America.
Seminoles.
No. I that's what I mean.
I heard about them. Okay, I heard about it.
Okay. So some of them are very dark skinned, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in white American law, Moors, it was illegal to call them Negro, and they're darker than Africans, or just as dark as Africans. So that's why Negro just didn't mean dark, because it was illegal to call a Moor Negro, because Negro means enslavability. So 2 dark-skinned Moors were enslaved on a plantation. They took the planter owner to court, and he was told immediately release them, or you're gonna face the chair. Immediately release them, okay? Because they have a treaty with Morocco. So they're like, hey, you cannot enslave those. Like you broke the law. Immediately unhand those dark-skinned people who are not Negroes. So Negro meant slave. It didn't mean black in the context of white people. Now, of course,
Sir, are you saying that it was illegal to call a Moor
Negro? Yeah, in America, yeah.
In America.
Yeah.
Okay, in American.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Go do that. And while you do that, because Abraham Lincoln had a thing with Moors, and they were saying, hey, like he was saying, don't Abraham. I broke this down like beginning of the year, something like that. But Abraham Lincoln was dealing with Moors, and it was a big thing, like a big joke. Hey, the Moors are saying we're not Negroes, like don't call us Negro. It was like a whole big joke. But Abraham Lincoln was in cahoots with the Moors people, and they were never seen as slaves. They were never enslaved. It was illegal to enslave them. Right. So let's go to black. So you said Negro means black, right?
No, Negro comes from the term. It comes from the Latin term, and it means black. Like
No. Oh my God. Hey, my God. Yeah, you are. No. I'm just asking what you believe. I'm saying I asked you earlier, I said they was calling Africans Negroes.
It varies from different calls. Native Indian,
It's
Indians.
this dude, all respect, are you slow? Like I'm talking to you, right? I'm talking to you, and you just
Yes, I believe black Negroes
okay.
means black.
Okay, right. Are you a Negro? Huh?
Sir,
But it means black. Aren't you black? See, family. No. No. Well, hey, my guy. Okay, look. All right. So let's get to black. So black has different meanings too, and you pointed out too. White people went around calling darker people Negroes, right? And you could say they also at some point said black skin, right? So when white people said black and applied to people, it was describing a skin color. Can we agree there?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm light skinned and I'm foundation black American. I'm black. How am I black if I don't have dark skin? Can you tell me?
So you're not black. You're 50%. You're not biracial. You lack the stimulants of type 4 hair.
So do you want to know how black Americans define? Okay, in 1930s, Elijah Muhammad was the first man to use black in a positive connotation on dark skin.
You're like the same way as Drake. You're
Oh
like
my
the same
God.
as Adea.
Hey, my guy, are you? You know what? All right, dude. Take care. Let me get back to my video. God damn. Whoa, my God. I can't do it, family. I can't do it. These remedial tethers, I tried. I just can't do it. I'm ready to crash out and cuss this dude out. Dude, you are remedial. Okay? You are not the selected class. You are the bottom 1% of your country, the Senegalese people. You came here as a refugee, most likely, temporary status, and you had no education at all in your homeland. None of y'all. I can tell. The hyperselected immigrants, this would make total sense to them. I spoke to them. But the remedial class, the bottom 1%, the top 1% are the hyperselected immigrants. The bottom 1% are the fleers. Okay, so now that's my new term, family. So when people start using it, they got it over here. So I'm gonna refer to them as bottom 1% and top 1%. Top 1% is the highly selected class of immigrants. Bottom 1% is the remedial, no education, broke bum, eat mud, eat cookie, don't work, lazy bat, all that. Yeah, so now he's most likely a bottom 1%er. I'm talking, it goes over his head. He's talking about coil hair, bro. My hair ain't nothing like yours, my guy. Like right now, I don't comb my hair. And if I comb right now, I don't have problems throwing a comb through my head. You can't get a comb through your head, my guy. Hey, when the barber cut my hair, that's the first time it be combed. And he might here and there struggle, but it goes straight through. Yeah, so yeah, whatever texturized hair, whatever texture hair you got, I don't got that. Okay? When I used to get my hair braided, the women be like, yo, you got nice hair. Okay? So I don't know what you're talking about. All right, anyway. Let's finish the video. Yeah. All this coil peppercorn hair you talking about, I cannot relate to that.
You see? The thing is, us being on lineage business, that's a threat to the minority resource umbrella. That's a major threat to it. And that's a threat to the votes too, because again, I keep saying they want us to vote as a big minority block of African descent. So that's why it's imperative for us to identify with Africa, so that all of these other people who got some kind of so-called immediate African genetics, we can act like we're one big coalition, which we're not. And when we're standing on lineage business, we're getting very specific. So now when these people try to play, well, I'm a minority, I'm a person of color. But no, sir, you're not a foundational Black American. You're not a foundational Black American. And that's a difference. Well, that's divisive, sir. You giving resources to all these other groups is divisive. I don't want to hear that divisive talk. They divide resources and give it to everybody except us. And we got to stop being politically manipulated all the time. All right. Let me see. Y'all raise those hands.
Yeah, I couldn't, family. I couldn't with this guy. You talk about being gaslit. and remedial and gaslighting me. You dig? Like like kind of witty people try to gaslight. Like when gaslight works, it's usually coming from witty people. A remedial person gaslighting is horrible. You dig? It's like, dude, that's not even the real way to gaslight. Like you don't gaslight and be seen as remedial. Like that's not the point. When you gaslight, it's supposed to be undetected. The person ain't supposed to know they're being gaslit. All right? Okay. So let's get into black, right? So I was trying to explain to the tether. A lot of these people know they're not black. And he sensed that I'm about to go hard. So I also want to talk about swarthy, because you got a lot of these tether Moors that be trying to go into like swarthy, trying to act like that means, melanated people. We're gonna break that down too. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna do swarthy next. Or maybe next live, because I do want to try to get to that Dane Calloway. What time is it? 8:19. It's over. It ain't happening tonight. It's over. Because I want to get to Dane Calloway to break down, to debunk his video about Harriet Tubman has never existed. Okay, so I want to cook that video. Like that video is the most remedial video. Hopefully the weather is good like it is right now, and I can just cook on that. It's 8:19. I'm trying to be in the bed by 9:30. I got like an hour, 10 o'clock the latest. If I touch on that Dan Calloway, I can imagine people going to want to join in the barbecue and cook them, but join the picnic, the family reunion cooking Dane. But right now, yeah, I'll be selling myself short because we couldn't really go in like we should. Okay. So what was that? All right, where's my mic? Hold on. Where's my mic? Where's my mic? Oh my God. I could never find the mic. All right, no mic. Let's just go. This weather is nice. Okay, so one word, listen clearly. This is a breakdown of black you never heard before. Matter of fact, all the deep breakdowns of black I've came up with. All right. Everybody else got some basic stuff, like my man just tried to do. That's everybody's breakdown on black. I'm the one who took black to a whole new level, right? I introduced words you heard before, but never like this. So polysemous, we're gonna talk about that. So one word can carry several related meanings at the same historical moment. You dig? So black and Negro. So that means that black can just be a color. Black can be a racial classification. Black can also describe somebody's skin color. So it's a crayon color. White people made it a racial classification for a bunch of immigrants. And also, black is used to describe jet dark people's skin color in a derogatory way. And black also identifies an ethnic group, and that ethnic group is foundational Black Americans, right? So black carries several related meanings at the same time, okay? And different communities can, like we just know people, like he just did. He tried to activate it to be some type of skin color and a racial classification. So I said, how I'm black. Now that confused the guy. He couldn't even like get it. Oh, you white tea mulatto. Like, no, what are you talking about, my guy? You just made some stuff up. Okay. So the adjective, when you use polysemous in an adjective sense, is polysemous or polysemous, right? Polysemous. Okay. So you got polysemy. So you got polysemy. That's the noun, right? That's the phenomenon of one word. And I say I'm something like a phenomenon. That's a phenomenon of one word having multiple related meanings. So black is a polysemous word, right? So I'm describing what type of word black is. Who is this inviting himself up? Okay, let's see who this is coming up. Hello, hello, hello.
What's up, bro?
What's going on?
I was chilling. I was just listening to that other guy who was just up here.
Yeah.
Like, these people have zero critical thinking skills
At all.
Sense. So it really doesn't make sense to even argue with them or engage with them in regards to anything like this. But it just shows you he was a prime example that all of their esteem and all of the achievement that they feel at being black, being African, is in relation to Black Americans.
Right. 100%.
Africanness.
Yep.
As swiftly as we did with our form, which is omnipresent, we basically dehydrated them. That was like a declaration of war. Some our delineation, you have them doing what they're doing with assets, which is in the private sector, and cultural encroachment, which they are known for. And then you had Ghana had the audacity to come over here and do what they did right here in the midst of this delineation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing more we can tell these people or show these people.
Yep.
They will accept and move forward. You can educate these people, or you will witness that same person on the next panel asking the same question.
Of course.
Curious about something that they just heard.
Yep. That's a fact.
They're just trying to, even like before we got into this little spat with the Africans specifically, they like to call it a diaspora war, because they like to center themselves and make like headlines in relation to us, or conversations that relates us to them. Like, it's not a Black Americans versus the Nigerians or any African country. Because first of all, y'all are getting put out of every developed country on the planet, and including some shitholes on our own continent. So don't specify this as a conflict between us. We just don't see our benefit of having you in our country. That doesn't create a conflict. It creates a conflict for you. Because we have all these mad immigrants, a lot of them Black, punch in the air, and every time they have a big gripe with the American government, whether it's deportations or TPS ended, they want to bring a negative energy and argue with Black Americans.
Yep.
Because they're cowards. They have the nerve to ask for allyship or advocacy. What are we allying with, and what are we actually advocating for? And what do we bring to the table for Black Americans?
Right. Yeah, but
ask another question, silence.
yep. And the thing is, one Ghanaian can't speak on behalf of the country. Hey, let's ally. Who you? You one person. Bring your leader over here with that. How you going to speak for Ghana? Like what does that even mean? He talking about, hey, ally with us. Who you? You ain't the
Example of allyship between us and their community. They like to bring up one person 100 years ago.
Oh.
Like, that one person.
What one person it is? What one person? Wait, but Marcus Garvey was the biggest. Yeah, but Marcus Garvey, but more than that, Marcus Garvey was the biggest scammer ever to associate with Black Americans.
Exactly. You can tell that they haven't been listening to what we said, because you would never want to introduce Marcus Garvey as the savior of your community as far as allyship with Black Americans. We rejected him then. He was deported.
Right.
These Haitians and how desperate they've gotten, like, a lot of these people, they really showed their true colors, because Africans, we pretty much know how they felt, how they are. A lot of these other groups, I guess deportation brought a lot of these people's true colors.
Right. Yeah.
The ones that we thought we was cool with.
Yeah, like, but also, I'm like, people are people, so I'm sure there's an individual here, individual there that we're cool with. But when we talk about them, because when they mention us, they don't mention us as individuals. They mention us as a monolith. Hey, you FBAs, so we're not gonna separate y'all. We're gonna talk about y'all as a monolith.
Talk about an individual. We're talking about
Groups.
Like, we accept it, we appreciate it, we always
have. Well, I don't know. But here's the thing. I don't know an individual. That's why I said name one. I don't know one. Like, so I would love to know if you know one. Educate me. I don't know one. Which one?
Or my personal life.
No. I'm saying, like, they bring up the immigrants, right? That's supposed to done something great. Okay, he's a scammer. Who's next? No, he's not Haitian. Okay, so two things, right? So that's two lies. Marcus Garvey's a scammer. And he scammed Black Americans. Secondly, the guy did not found Chicago. No Haitian did. There's no proof, no record, nothing.
You say that because he had a first last
Right,
name.
right.
French.
Yeah, but there's no. But here's something greater. There's no research they could lend to that will point that guy is Haitian. So it's like they just made it up. So now who else? So that he's not Haitian. Marcus Garvey's a scammer. So that's 2 down. Who's the next guy? Like I don't know one. Who else is out there? Yeah, and those are horrible because these folks, one didn't exist and the other one was a scammer.
They try to bring up other little events like we got the Louisiana Purchase because of that. The siege of Savannah. All of this other bullshit.
Yeah, now it doesn't work. So what happens? So what happened was it works on some podcasts, some FBA spaces, but over here, like people who do real research, that don't work over here. Like I actually know all that stuff, and we cook them with that. So that's why I asked them name somebody, and we just use that person against them. Like, nope, he.
Other spaces and they spew that rhetoric, and the people in there affirm them, and they like an amen corner. Yeah. So they may feel emboldened to come say some.
Now I'd be loving that. Right. Well, a couple of guys called in today. A Ghanaian guy, Nigerian, and they got handled pretty nicely. And they usually agree with me. When I broke down he wasn't Black, he agreed. Like, yeah, you're right. Like that.
These people you talk to about, especially the term Black, you realize how colonized a lot of these people still are.
Right.
Like the Africans are the utmost colonized, even though we all experience blah 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 blah. That's why they always try to relate to us. They try to trauma bond, try to relate to us through fucking atrocities. I even had an African try to relate to us. He said, we have the same sickle cell. I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, I don't know nothing about that. Yeah, right. That's wild because I don't know anybody in real life who has sickle cells. I don't know what he's talking about. So I don't, or a rapper or something, but yeah.
Shit like that.
I mean, what about chicken pox? Did they get chicken pox?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Diseases, every disease known to man is fucking over there.
Oh yeah, they're number one. They're number one. China's number 2 for diseases. But yeah, man, the disease thing won't work. I mean, listen, here's the bottom line: we have nothing in common.
Exactly. Bingo.
That's it. And I don't have to link up with none of them because I could live my Black American life by myself amongst my lineage and be fine.
They asked about like the lineages, especially by name, like why we have like the under same name. I was like, why would we want to share the same name as a bunch of different groups, not just one, that we literally have nothing in common with these people? We come from different economies, different like types of economies. Some of you motherfuckers come from communism. We come from capitalism. Some of you don't even have an economy because it's that fucking horrible over there. We come from a first world country. I don't even know if your country can be ranked given the conditions that they're in. Why would we want to be addressed by our government under the same name as you?
Yeah, they'll be bringing us down. Like
exactly, you ruin our fucking stats. You bring down our average. You make
Yep. Marriages, divorces, baby mothers. They do drug crimes, all that stuff. That's them. Oh yeah, the most degenerate, the most primitive, degenerate crimes you could think of.
Like you think like that's horrible. You hear some of these crimes, not even gonna mention the groups that the type of shit that they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the most degenerate crimes.
And pathologize every goddamn thing that we do, literally. Everything that we say about ourselves, the Africans for sure will have a counter argument. Like they know us, that we didn't meet them in 1975.
Right. And yeah, and I look, I tell people, white people did what rolled with us, like they was more plentiful as riders than all of those countries.
Exactly. Like they tried to say like what or these individuals who contribute to civil rights. Like, do you know how many fucking small ass contributors to civil rights?
Oh yeah, a whole bunch.
Like they consider themselves Black.
Right, exactly.
Their harms against Black Americans. I'm like, but they are parts of that community. We had allyship with them in some instances and some of these other groups. Never with you Africans ever.
Yeah, what immigrant do they name that was with us in the civil rights movement?
Like some they said it was some Africans here. It was some like Marcus Garvey inspired Dr. King. They said a lot of shit.
No. Dr. King was against the idea of going back to Africa. All right, and Dr. King knew Marcus Garvey was a scammer, so that's false. Listen, okay, wait, all right, let's talk about that. See, I waited for you to mention the name. You talking about Kwame Ture? Let me explain him. Do you know when Jesse Jackson introduced African American? Do you know he was the main ones caping for that word? He was no longer, yeah, he was no longer about black. He was like African American. He was fighting hard for African American. That's
trying to say he coined the black term, like
no,
he won't make black popular.
no, he didn't. Wait, so slow down. He did not. Who said that? Somebody in the chat? Okay. All right. Here's a rebuttal. There's a black American named Richard Wright. He coined Black Power in 1945 with his book the Black Boy. In 1954 he had a book called Black Power. Yo, Google it. Kwame Ture stole Black Power from him. Richard Wright. He was the first to document Black Power. It was in the same context. And guess what? He was very popular in those movements. So everybody knew who he was. So it wasn't like he was an unnamed guy. He was very popular in those settings, those black national settings. He coined Black Power, and what you call did was wait for opportunity on the grand scale to steal it and say it. So that's all he did. He used it when all the lights and cameras on, but he stole Richard Wright terminology, his phrase. Black Power. That's Richard Wright.
Like some of these panels where I guess some of these people try to find some unity or whatever.
Ain't none. Ain't none.
They try to be like, what is causing the division between?
There is no division because we were never a whole.
And when you have to ask them, what was the harm that Black Americans ever done to you? Every single one of them, what they were
Booty scratchers. Booty scratchers.
Like that wasn't told to everybody.
Now, which one of those was a lie? Right. So why are they mad at the truth? They had a nappy head. They were dark skinned. They were booty scratchers. Which one of those words was a lie? They told you your truth and you couldn't take it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can say.
Yeah, but it's the truth. That's like somebody saying, I'm biased, Ron, you handsome. I'm like, okay. That's not offensive. You smart. Okay. You are an entrepreneur. Okay. Like that's my truth. But you didn't say nothing wrong. Like I'm not offended. So nappy head, dark skin, booty scratcher, that's their truth. And
There's a lot of it about their self-image. Like they hate their own self-image, and they feel like these delusions that we look the same nigga, all of that stuff. Or
no, we don't.
Same hair texture, the same picture. First of all, we don't, and everybody sees that. That's why you're so gung ho on us to accept or to go out purporting that we all look alike. We don't all look alike. You don't look like any group from the Americas, maybe besides Haitians.
Oh yeah, and I say that. So when they say that over here, I say, bro, look at my profile. Look at my profile pic. I say, which one of y'all look like me? None of y'all. Look, you can look. Look. That don't bother me. I got two FBA parents. Okay, I don't have a non-FBA mom or non-FBA dad. Okay, I got an FBA mom, FBA dad. So that don't work over here. Don't work. My mom's side, North Carolina, and my dad's side, Mississippi, and I lived in both. Went to school in both.
When they try to pull that like pure black or the original black,
Wait.
Like I don't want that shit.
Yeah. First of all, nothing about them is black. Black is a word that we coined, and that only applies to Black Americans, right? So nothing. That's why I'm trying to educate the guy. Like, guy, you're using a word that doesn't apply to you. Like, you're using it after we made it great, and we only made it for ourselves. I was trying to explain to the guy, but he kept tripping out. I couldn't get it out, but I kicked him off because he wasn't worth another second of my time. But black doesn't associate with immigrants at all. It's a word they shouldn't even use.
Others like that, they just come on these type of panels and hog up so much time because they're just trying to waste our time. That's literally what they're trying to do. We got way more productive shit we could be talking about than telling them the same shit we told them 1,000 goddamn times, and they still won't get it through their nappy ass round head.
Yeah, but you know what? You're right. And I used to be a former Nation of Islam member, right? And what we did was we used to go around debating Christians. And like we used to cook them. So I'm used to people trying to start trouble and we just cook them. So for me, it's just my natural instinct. If they come to my channel, clout chasing, wasting my time, no problem. Because I am a content creator. So thank you for the content. I'm gonna cook you for a little while and kick you off.
I just be trying to have a regular conversation.
Yeah, see, but the difference is
Short.
right. I got you. But the difference, bro, like I'm a real educator. I get paid to teach people stuff. So for me, I'm educating through. So I always say this: I'm educating through them to my lineage. So I use them. No. It's like a blackboard, right? The blackboard is a tool to teach the class. You're not teaching the blackboard, right? You're using it to teach the class. So when a tether comes up here, try to waste time, I use the tether to teach my lineage. So he's a walking example. So in basketball, we'll call it a cone. He's a cone.
Well, that was like I was on one African panel. The first time I came up, he asked me like, "What's up, African descent?" I said no, and he dropped me.
Right.
None of my ancestors are documented as African, identified as African. I'm like, I'm not documented as African or identified as African. Like, why would I come on here and tell you I'm of African descent? Like, do you want to see pictures of my ancestors? So I'm like, you definitely won't say they African. So I start pulling up pictures of my ancestors.
Right.
They start telling me they ain't black, all type of other.
Yeah, but a person, see, and that's why I come in at, like, you can't tell us a word that we made, like the definition we gave black, you can't redefine black. It already had, like, for example, hola means hi. You can't come by and remix it and make it say goodbye. You dig? Hola is hi. We made black. We gave it a definition. We say we're black and proud, black and smart, black intelligent, and a whole bunch of other stuff. That's what black is. Black represents our 400 plus ethnogenesis. So no tether can come behind us, take our word that we cultivated in birth and grew, and then tell us it means something else. No, sir. No, ma'am. It means exactly what we say. That
Something specific about Black American history or some specific figure. There could be your own family. And they could be like, where are they from?
Yeah.
And they will want you to say Africa, you were like, from here. They'd be like, where were they originally from? Like, they want you to place them, so they want to connect themselves to the goddamn history so goddamn bad. And try to act like they was intertwined in it somehow. So desperate to right now. They only do it with us. They don't do it with the countries that's approximate to them.
Right. The next tribe don't gotta claim the house, so they don't make them claim Yoruba. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's going. That's what's going on. Yeah, but I like when they come over here and join me because the education moment, and I am sort of educating them, by the way, because they're learning for the first time they're not black. So and the way I drive at home, a 6-year-old can understand it, right? So the way I drive at home, there's no excuse not to get it. Right. So a lot of them do concede and they end up saying they're not black. A lot of them do that. I got hella clips. With what?
Out here trying to spew the narrative that they so bright, so intelligent, so learned, so educated. But then you have a conversation with these Nigerians and you realize how stupid they are. Oh, they have no common sense. But they going around telling everybody that they the doctors and the lawyers and this and that.
Yeah, not every.
That shit is so stupid.
Yeah, not every Nigerian. Only 60% of them have that education. The other 40% are remedial as hell. Yep. Only.
Education, them goddamn degrees is fake. So we're finding out.
Oh yeah, and then they got that problem. The problem with the degrees. We don't even know if that thing is legit. As a matter of fact, they got a bad rapport, so we have to assume it ain't real. They got to prove it's legitimate, right? That's what they got to do. We the burden of proof is on them, not us.
Like the economic,
political
parts of us want to unite with them. even the character parts, we would never want to unite people who are delusional and liars and all these flaws that they have.
Right. So hold on. So this guy's back on. Hello? The guy that kind of played like a remedial. Hello? Hello? Yeah, you were just on, right? Okay. Did you take your medicine? No, I'm asking because I was talking to you and you act like you ain't hear one word. So I want to know if you take your medicine, you could calm down and listen. Did you take your medicine or did you calm down? Okay. My God, y'all corny. You got no swag, man. Yeah, I kicked them off. Next time I'm just gonna block you, my guy. Yeah, don't come back up. You do it again, I'm gonna block you.
They like attention, they can only get it via Black Americans.
Like the dude, I mean, God damn, like a gremlin, yo. I looked at the profile. Dude, you look like Stripe, the gremlin Stripe. Like, dude, get out of here, man. Get up out of here.
Some Black Americans, when they go back and forth with these Africans, even if they're just wasting their time, just going back and forth with trying to educate them or argue with them, like they'll get riled up or upset. So,
Oh,
like, start them out completely, they will literally wither and die.
hey, yeah, I didn't know that was Mr. Black Gray. Man, why'd you say that? He finally came up. My fault. Yeah, why didn't you say that was you? Because yeah. So next time, bro, Mr. Black Gray, hop on. I'm live every morning, 5 a.m. to about 6:30. So Mr. Black Gray, hop on tomorrow morning, and we will hear you out. I didn't know that was you. Nah, but so yeah, you're right. So now, brother, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say there's a phrase that's used that professionals use. They say, "Don't try this at home." Okay. So when I talk to tethers, I'm very experienced, right? I really do this. I'm really educated. I'm really researched and witty, right? So I say for the folks that tethers like try to entertain, I say no, send them towards me. Let a professional handle them, right? I know what question to ask. I know what words to use, and I'm action packed on history. That's why I was asking you what they're gonna say. And as soon as you gave me a name, I had a rebuttal in 2 seconds, right? Because the names you're gonna mention, I already know, and I know everything about them. So I'm saying, let me handle the tether class, and then y'all go back to living your best life. Let me handle these guys. Let me cook them, educate them in a way where the finesse is done. The scam is over. It's no more cosplaying. You can, you got to go. You got to walk on. We ain't talking to you anymore. Just go. It's over.
They committed to this shit to the day they die. It'll never be overdue.
Nah, well, then listen, what you got to do is,
There's nothing they can do about it.
right, but what you got to do is follow over here. I'm a little different than the average FBA space. Right, like for example, you know revenue? Have you heard of revenue before? I think he's on mute. He paused. Okay. All right. So revenue called in yesterday, and he called in to troll. But without calling him names, without screaming at him, the dude ended up saying, "Yo, to keep it real, you taught me some things, and now I'm changing my position on certain things." Like, so I have revenue here, who's everybody's troll, come over here yesterday and say, "You, unbiased Ron."
I think I heard his name on.
Yeah. Yeah. He always calls there, but he's Kwame. But what I'm saying is, he's everybody headache. But I always said when he comes over here, he don't behave like that. Like how he crash out on everybody's space. Over here, he be having sense because I don't tolerate that. Like I have a high standard of respect, so he don't carry his way like that over here like he do on the platform. I have a high standard because I will remove people in 2 seconds. I don't make tethers believe that they're special guests like other FBA spaces do. I let them know you're not the prize. You dig? You're not the prize. You act like a fool, you out of here. But again, they're the blackboard. When they come over here, they're the blackboard. I just use them to teach my lineage. That's all. They're the blackboard when they come over here. I'm very skilled. I'm an expert. I'm a professional. But you guys don't try this at home. All right. So now, let me, brother. I'm going to play another video from Tariq, give some commentary, then I'm out of here. Appreciate you. If you want to see how I handle tethers, definitely follow. And you might want to tune in early tomorrow morning because they usually call in super early. And I'm like Blade. You dig? When they call in, they be like those goons and goblins, and I'm like Wesley Snipes Blade. I'd be slaying all of them, yeah. It'd be very entertaining. Okay, so let me go to the video I've been trying to play. Where is it? Okay, I think it's this one. No, is it this one?
Let's get Miss Tiffany in here.
No, I don't think. No.
All right, Tiffany, where you at, ma'am?
I'm right here. Can you hear me? I'm in my car.
No, I don't think it's that one. I should cook on Dane Calloway. What time is it? You know what? The video ain't that long. All right, I'm gonna cook on Dane Calloway. Let me get my microphone because he said Harriet Tubman was never existed. All right, I'm gonna do that. Let me find my mic. Okay, where's my mic? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna cook on Dan Calloway's argument where he said Harriet Tubman never existed. I got time. I got a little more time. All right. Where's my mic? Let me find my mic. I gotta find the mic. No, Mr. Black Great, tomorrow. I'm about to cook on Dan Calloway. All right, give me a second. I mean tomorrow. Call early tomorrow. Call early tomorrow. Call early tomorrow. Not tonight, because I'm on a mission. Once I find his mic, what the hell I do with it? Oh, I got it. I got the mic. I got the mic. All right. I got the mic. I got the mic. Okay. Let's tackle Dan Connolly and his ridiculous argument that Harriet Tubman never existed. Yeah. Let's beat that up. Okay. Cut that off. Let me switch to my laptop. TikToker, you stay right there. YouTubers, I'm gonna switch over. I'll break down polygamous tomorrow. All right. I'm gonna cook on Dane. All right. So first, I'm gonna play what he said about Tariq as a reminder why I'm doing this. That's why there's a phrase: "Do not come for me if I ain't send for you." Okay, it ain't a good look. It never goes well. Okay, so here's case in point. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so I'm gonna play those other videos tomorrow. The Tariq videos, I'm gonna play those tomorrow. Okay, so let me go ahead and find the original Dane video to show you why we got to do this. Okay, 1 second. One second. Come on, get on. All right. Okay. Walk on, keep on. Matter of time, immigrants nabbed as lost and oh, that they doing as immigrants dirty. Keep on walking. I ain't talking to you anymore. You can just go. All right. So let me go ahead and just get the thumbnail right, so folks can see the thumbnail and know what time we on. We on demon time. Big. Yeah, but the brother was cool. The brother was cool. But I was letting them know, like, all those talking points, we got rebuttals for all of them. We got rebuttal. All those talking points that go nowhere. That's why I say, like the youth, they got to tap more in with us, olders. Tap in with the olders, so you know what we're doing, and what we're supposed to do is take what we got to the next level. So the people who younger than us, you're supposed to listen to our arguments, listen to how we responded to others and rebut them, and you're supposed to master our arguments and take them to the next level. Like the dude, the critic had borrowed the X the older, so you know, take it and use it his own way, and he's with it. Okay. Yeah. I don't care. Wait. You get the speaker. I gotta play right. Like, this is the biggest hypocrisy. Hold on. I gotta connect my. You got mail. I gotta connect my. Here we go. I had the bigger speaker. I know that. All right. The United States. Whatever, and look what they were chanting in America. Look at this. States. If your mother was born in Jamaica and your father was born in Jamaica and you were born in the US, you are considered a Jamaican. They're clearly delineating. If you were born in Jamaica, if you were born on Mars, if you were born in the US, you are Jamaican. They didn't say black. They didn't say if you were born in Jamaica, if you're born on Mars. They didn't say, my fault, the mic over there. They didn't say if you're born in Jamaica, you're born on Mars, you're born in the US, you are black. They said you are Jamaican. Okay, I'm not Jamaican this up. You're hearing it. You are Jamaican, not that you're black. Told you, if you can take off you're black, you're not black. And they took it off. They said they are Jamaican. Listen. Listen to Steve Bashment again. If your mother was born in Kingston and your father was born in Montego Bay and you were born in Brooklyn, you are still a Jamaican. Okay, so y'all heard that for yourself. If you're, that is called delineation, and they gaslight us to believe we're xenophobic. They didn't say you're black. They said you are Jamaican. All right. All right. So let's get to the Dane Calloway video, which made me decide that. Hold on. Dane Calloway. Like when guys get no motion or when guys not growing anymore and they think they should do better, they all come back to Tariq Nasheed. They all come back to get clout. Tariq Nasheed. Okay, so
all right, Whoopi Goldberg delineating a long time ago. All right, let me see.
Wait. Dan Calloway said Tariq Nasheed is borrowing his talking points. He went and found a rinky-dink video and said Tariq Nasheed said lettuce. I said lettuce. So he's stealing my talking points. And just now, did this guy use the word delineate? Who was using the word delineate in our spaces before Tariq Nasheed? Who was using the word disaggregate before Yvette Carnell? Who was saying hyperselectivity before Tone Talk? And who was saying exonym, endonym before Unbiased Ron? Who was saying Little Big Big B? Who was saying Little B Big B? Who was saying polysemous before your boy, or polysemy before your boy? So we have talking points where it's just us. So Dane Calloway, according to your logic, you stole Tariq Nasheed talking points. You used the word he made popular amongst us in these spaces, which is delineate. You ain't never say delineate before Tariq Nasheed, Dane Calloway. So I mean, like, these guys are weird.
All right, Whoopi.
Hard, but don't call me an African.
All right, Whoopi Goldberg delineating a long time ago.
Whoopi Goldberg delineating a long time ago. Okay, so that means you're still in Tariq talking points. Yo, that's why I say Dane Calloway is highly remedial.
All right, Whoopi Goldberg delineating a long time ago. All right, let me see.
A-hole, call me a blowhard, but don't call me an African American, close quote. You know that rubbed a whole lot of black folks the wrong way.
I don't know why. You know, did Rosa Parks sit on that bus so we could put a hyphen in front of the word American? Did those little girls die in that church so we could come and define ourselves by another culture? No. You know, no. That's not the deal. As an American, we are entitled to everything the Constitution offers, to everything the Declaration of Independence says, to every opportunity that exists in this country. I am not going to let somebody water down my Americanism because they feel more comfortable with labeling me with a country that I can't tell you the cultures of. Tell me what you know about the cultures of Africa. Tell me.
I can do that.
I want you to.
I can do that. It would take away our time. Let me ask you, because I want to hear your thoughts. It's not what that is.
No, but it's important, Travis, because if I can pose the question to you, and you can tell me what you know about Africa, but what can you tell me about your grandmother and your great-grandmother, whose culture is here?
Yo, I love the way Whoopi Goldberg took control of that conversation. Because Tavis Smiley, you know, he's always been suspected coon. And he tried to do something else. He said, no. We're going to stay right here. We ain't got much time. They never got much time when they get called out on something. But if he was going to scold her for saying she's not African American, he would have gave her 30 minutes. But she said, no, tell me about African culture, the different tribes, and tell me. Oh, I can, but not right now. No, right now, tell me. And he didn't do it. He said, well, tell me about your grandmother and mother in America. You can say a lot about them in a drop of a dime, but what happened to Africa, what goes in Africa, you have little to no concern. Because you know you ain't African either. That's where she was going with that. All right, so here is Dane Calloway. Now remember, he just used the word delineate. So according to Dane Calloway's remedial logic, he stole Tariq Nasheed's talking point because Tariq was using that word long before Dane Calloway decided to use it. So according to Dane Calloway, he stole Tariq Nasheed's talking point. Listen to this guy's logic.
They rejected it, ladies and gentlemen. The black grassroots rejected it. Grassroots were going around, hey, y'all stop that African shit. Do y'all understand? You had activists in the 1800s talking like we're talking now. Stop all that African talk. We're not African.
And he knew this and was still a Pan-African all those years until recently.
There was a whole movement. All of these places out of thousands in Philadelphia, 3,000 brothers showed up, cut that African shit out, telling them don't start that, go to Africa, we ain't from Africa. 3,000 people showed up to that church telling them cut that Africa shit out. Look up what I'm telling you. Google, do whatever you need to do. I'm telling you, we rejected that. And the irony is, you know who one of the main spokespersons rejecting that? Frederick Douglass. who Umar's running. He got the struggle school named after. Frederick Douglass was the main person saying, hey, we ain't African. We're native here. We've been here too long. This is our land. We ain't going to no damn Africa. Frederick Douglass was the main one against that. Look that up. Frederick Douglass argued explicitly against that African.
Frederick Douglass, he was against.
We got birthright. This is our land. Harriet Tubman was talking about this is our land. Yes, Frederick was vehemently against not only going to Africa, calling ourselves African.
I dare you to prove it.
Harriet Tubman was talking about this is our land. Yes,
That's why this fool don't want to debate me. When has Harriet Tubman ever said that?
Frederick was vehemently against not.
When she ain't never existed.
You heard him. He said Harriet Tubman never existed. So we're going to run through his video and look at his logical arguments or illogical arguments. This is going to be hilarious.
Calling ourselves African, he was against that. Look up what I'm telling you.
Did he say look it up?
Look it up.
He know he full of shit. And Harriet Tubman said, Harriet Tubman said, look it up. This fool ain't do a drop of research on his own family and got the nerve to tell you history. He remind me of them old school. He remind me, not old, well, I guess in a way, yeah, it is old school. He remind me of them folks that was coming up in the 70s, right? That was trying too hard to get women's attention, and they wasn't paying his ass no mind because they red white through his ass. He had to change his whole identity. He had to change his whole name to get rid of his old self in order to become who he is right now. Somebody gonna be like, well, Dane, everybody changed. All right. Yeah, I guess so. He FBA now. He was Pan-African. No. We're indigenous to this land, but we still came from Africa. I got the clips. I got the clips of how he progressively stretched his grift, moved his grift from Pan-Africanism to African American, ADOS, to now his little movement, FBA. It's not even a movement. It's an abbreviation. And people got behind it as if it has anything to do with lineage. And not one time.
Yes, you heard him. He said FBA is an abbreviation. He said the letters F, that stands for foundational, B stands for black, A stands for American, and he called that an abbreviation. Dan Calloway, you are super remedial. That's called an acronym, my guy, not a abbreviation.
Time did you hear ADOS to now his from Pan-Africanism to African American, ADOS, to now his little movement, FBA. It's not even a movement. It's an abbreviation. And people.
Yeah, my guy, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. It's called an acronym, not an abbreviation. That's not a good look. So, like I say, smart people can play dumb, but dumb people can't play smart, my guy. It's not an abbreviation. Like, that's ridiculous.
People got behind it as if it has anything to do with lineage. And not one time did you hear him speak about his family's heritage in full. Put it up on screen, put one of his family members, and I'm speaking because I did this already. Put it up on screen, put his family members up on screen. You heard from my mother. Some of y'all heard from my father. Some of y'all heard from my sister. Y'all heard from my
allegedly, alleged father, alleged sister. My guy, how about go to your community? Take your phone out, your camera out, and let's see who embraces you. Let's see if your community rocks with you. Let's see if they respect you. Bring your camera out and go kick it with your community. Let's see if they embrace you. They're not, and you know it. Nobody knows this weirdo. Okay, so now let's get to his arguments. His weirdo arguments. So guys and gals, look, drink your milk. Get your oxygen mask because he's about to say some remedial stuff. So this is the remedial alert.
Like, for example, her current address in order for the government to mail the pension to her in the first place. The story of Harriet Tubman has been contradictory each time it was recreated. She has been called an abolitionist, a political activist, then a spy for the Union, and a conductor of the Underground Railroad. Then she was said to have been a teacher.
Did he say a conductor for the Underground Railroad? My guy, it wasn't a literal train. You thought, Dane, you ain't that remedial. You thought Harriet Tubman was operating a train, my guy? It's a metaphor. When we say Underground Railroad, it's a metaphor, but you don't know what that is because you think 3 letters that represents 3 different words, you think that's an abbreviation. You didn't know it's a metaphor when we say Underground. Oh my God. He said train. I'm going to rewind it one more time, family. He said Harriet Tubman was a train conductor. He thinks that this was a real railroad with a real train.
The Underground, then a spy for the Union, and a conductor of the Underground Railroad. Then she...
Family, he got the word train in parentheses. He thinks this was a real railroad with a real train. And he thought Harriet Tubman was operating a train. This guy's super remedial.
She was said to have been a teacher and a nurse. But yet, some authors claim that she was illiterate and couldn't read or write. So, what did she teach if she couldn't read? And how did she learn how to be a...
Wait, hold on. Did he say, what did she teach if she couldn't read? Now, he didn't say that. He didn't say, what did she teach if she couldn't read? You can teach life. You could teach skills you learn. Okay? If you can't read, but you pick cotton, and you got to explain to the next person how to pick cotton, you can do that without learning how to read. You can actually, for certainty, teach without learning how to read. This guy, so do he really thinks because people couldn't read or we're not allowed to read that they was incompetent to like learning things? This is a slow guy, man. That's why I call him Remedial Calloway.
And couldn't read or write. So what did she teach if she couldn't read? And how did she learn how to be a nurse for soldiers that were dying during the Civil War without being able to write?
Wait a minute. Hey, family, he doesn't believe that. Hey, my guy, immigrants come over here and don't speak a lick of English, right? They are equivalent to somebody who's an illiterate. They can't write or read English, but they are in jobs working, my guy. They're working. They're learning. And some of them might be nurses, I don't know, but they are learning in spite of not speaking one lick of English. This guy is crazy.
And what's way more important than that, all of these affidavits were said to have been filed and signed by Harriet Tubman herself, but they were actually written in full by other people on her behalf at her request, allegedly. And I say allegedly.
Wait. You said allegedly. Hold on. What the? What? Why did you say allegedly? He said like it was a fact. It's a family. This is deception. This is disingenuous research. He said it like it was factual and then threw in allegedly lastly. Wow.
But they were actually written in full by other people on her behalf at her request, allegedly. And I say allegedly because the affidavit that was filed in order to give particular people permission to write and speak on Harriet's behalf was done so on the date of May 7th, 1895. Which was well after the previous affidavits between the years of 1890 and 1894 were already on file.
All right, so fam, this is plebiscite babble.
But this particular letter has stated before, and November 10th, 1894, were both written in my presence. But then the paragraph underneath it states, the above testimony was all written in my presence, instead of saying my testimony was all written in my presence. What is very important to note here is that she only mentioned 3 affidavits being done in her presence, the 2 in 1894 and this one in 1895, with no mention of the previous affidavits. And here's the problem with that. The previous affidavits that were allegedly filed by Harriet Tubman herself has the exact same handwriting as all of the other affidavits. And yet, there was no mention of Harriet Tubman being illiterate in any of these documents that she allegedly wrote. In fact, her signature that was done in cursive writing is also identical of that same handwriting. And if you take an even closer look, you'll notice that each of her signatures are all marked by an X, while being accompanied by 2 other signatures of 2 separate witnesses. Now, even though in certain situations an X mark can be used to provide a signature for those people who are incapacitated due to illiteracy or disability, an X mark as a signature could also be used in the case of fraud and misinformation. According to a book by author Scott Richard Lyons called X Marks, Native Signatures of Ascent, an X mark is a treaty signature. During the 18th and 19th centuries, it was a common practice for treaty commissioners to have their Indian interlocutors make X marks as signifiers of presence and agreement, meaning an Indian signature was recorded by the phrase, his X mark, and what the X mark meant was consent. An X mark also signified coercion. As everyone knows, treaties were made under conditions that were generally unfavorable to Indians, and as a result, they were often accompanied by protests. End quote. Harriet Tubman was finally awarded multiple other pensions, but only years after she died. And having been married twice with no biological children in between them and no records of next of kin, who are the beneficiaries of these new pensions?
Family, did he just compare? This is why he's remedial Calloway. Did he compare your descendants to your live biological siblings and cousins? He did not just do that. One more time.
But only years after she died. And having been married twice with no biological children in between them and no records of next of kin, who are the beneficiaries of these new pensions, along with the money that is still being made from numerous books and movies about her story today.
Mrs. Christine Shack, their teacher, was asked about her pupils.
Mrs. Shack, do your pupils, who are most of them children of migrant families, are they anxious to get an education?
Terribly anxious, even more so than the child in the normal school here.
Do they get any help from their parents as far as schoolwork is concerned?
Usually you will find that the parents themselves are not educated. When we go out to enroll the children, oftentimes the parent will make an X and the person interviewing will have to sign it in order to get permission for the child to be enrolled in school. In order to get permission for the child to be enrolled in school. In order to get permission for the child to be enrolled in school.
I'm just here to make you think.
Okay, now that was some of the most boring information I ever heard in my life. And dude was just all over the place. All over the place. All right, so hold on. Let me do this. Let me do this. I want to make sure I got the right one before I get started. Yeah, dude is super special. Okay. Let's see. That dude compared your siblings to your descendants. Oh my God. Can't make this up. Lawyer. In Calloway. Okay. Harriet Tubman. Okay, here we are. Which one is it? Is it this one? I think it's this one. Trying to pause it. Okay, I think it's this one.
Wife and I presented evidence of documentation to you all on screen in that particular video. And again, I highly recommend that you watch it if you haven't done so by now, because I shared multiple historic receipts, records, and publicly verifiable evidence of documentation surrounding the congressional creation of the fictional character named Harriet Tubman. Why the story changes every year, why she really had no siblings, why her name was changed, and why she was chosen by the government to be on the $20 bill. Okay, and also why they did not find her father's house that was allegedly located in Maryland sometime this year.
The fake laughs.
Anyway, I also shared detailed information concerning the truth about the Underground Railroad being an actual transit system. And I did this years ago, but now you guys are telling me that Amazon Prime came out with a documentary. I'll go look at it. I think it was a documentary or some type of movie talking about the Underground Railroad being an actual transit system. But I'm sure people out there listening to me, you know, they taking notes. I'm happy, you know, that that's happening, because a lot more people need to wake up. A lot more people need to know the truth. Like, I'm tired of being taught lies. I'm tired of being fed bull crap. Like, I'm against all of that, guys. I'm really about the real truth, because who else to tell our story but us? Okay, so yeah, and that actual transit system has been in existence for centuries, and I mean centuries, even before these pale faces came over here on a boat. And they have no correlation with any of those safe houses, okay, as history so loves to claim. Okay, in fact, in my video on Harriet Tubman, I shared the public law directly from Congress that enabled the National Park Service Department and the Secretary of the Development, of the Department of Interior to literally select any random dwelling that they felt was best suited to be deemed as, and furthermore utilized as a historical site for the implementation of the indoctrinating stories surrounding slavery in America and the Underground Railroad, by way of the, what were they called? The National, let me see if I can pull this up. It was the National Center for the Study of Afro-American History and Culture, Society. Once again, that was the National Center for the Study of Afro-American History and Culture, Society. They created and cultivated these stories to make it seem as if they were true, but they were all, in fact, fictional, straight fictional. Like, for example, And I'm about to pull this up for you. In these affidavits that I displayed on screen in the Harriet Tubman video, that was said to have been allegedly written in her presence, Harriet Davis, what you know as Harriet Tubman. You see, should be popping up now. She oddly shares her entire story throughout these documents, and I say oddly because this step was not necessary for her to do in order to be granted a pension for her being married to her late husband. It was unnecessary. And hold on, y'all. Hold up. Whoever calling me, hold up. And according to these documents alone, she mentions everything in detail about herself. But she did not once mention her original name being Minty, nor her name being changed from Minty to Araminta Ross, as some of you may assume. Okay, there is no evidence of her original name being either of these aliases, just fictional stories that were all told by authors and or movie script writers, period. Okay, and according to these documents, hold on. Okay, and according to these documents, Harriet has, let me see, Harriet has admitted that she didn't have any children by neither of her husbands. She stated, quote, "I never had any children or child by the soldier," referring to her first husband, "nor by John Tubman." Clearly. I mean, if she wrote this, that's what she's saying. So, let me sip this tea then. So how can any of you be allegedly related to her by bloodline, as you claim, when you can't even confirm her real original name? Okay, nor does she have any offsprings to carry her bloodline into the next generations to come. You can't. You just can't. But you know what you can do? You can find a family that's willing to be paid a large sum of money to act as if they are blood related to Harriet. Who would do such a thing? The same people that were ordered by Congress to create the story to begin with. Oh, and they also had to find some family pictures that were left unclaimed over the years by their original family members, because our people still nowadays are so far behind on conducting genealogy research by records of their individual families that they continuously allow strangers to tell them who they are without any hesitation or room for questioning its accuracy or validity. And nowadays it's worse, because our people have become too damn comfortable with some stranger's point of view or opinion that they somehow believe that a genealogy DNA test can actually tell them their historical genetic makeup overall, when that technology can't exist without digging up each of the graves of their own family members here in America first. You got to dig up each one. Because see, look, I really want y'all to think about this. Are they comparing your data with the deceased?
Are you?
Absolutely not. They tell you that you are limited to comparing your data with other living people. So they are limited.
What the hell is he talking about?
To just comparing your data with other living people, period.
Okay, you heard that?
Just stop.
So, okay, so he thinks when you do a DNA profile, right? He thinks it has to be compared to living people. If that's not the most remedial thing ever. All right, so let's just break it down. Okay, so he said Congress created the fictional character Harriet Tubman. This is the stuff he's saying, Remedial Calloway. So Remedial Calloway said he has records. He got these mysterious records that are showing the congressional creation of the fictional character Harriet Tubman, right? So now he questions, oh, where's her siblings? And the government, she's the government conjuring something. The government conjured her up. Okay, that's Dane Calloway's claim. But the historical claim about Harriet Tubman, this is just ridiculous. But you got to do all of this to pretend there was no Africans in the country, like the guy yesterday who had to cook. Okay, but Harriet Tubman was indeed in the 19th century, and the proof is, there's evidence of her existence, and it's supported by like multiple independent categories of evidence throughout her lifetime, right? So you got the census records, you got land and property records, you got pension records, you got military related records, you got the contemporaneous abolitionist correspondence, you got newspaper reports. So all this fake, right? You got photographs, you got testimony from people who knew her, you got records involving her husband and family, and then Sarah Bradford's biography is written while Tubman was alive. One more time, Sarah Bradford's biography written while Tubman was alive. So Dane Calloway says congressional copyright registration of a book. Tubman does not mean that means that means that she's he said Congress. Why Congress? So he said Congress registering or protecting a publication. Listen to his argument. He says Congress registering or protecting a publication is the same as Congress creating the human subject of the publication. Okay. So now with that poor logic, right? That poor logic I just read, then his logic would have to concede to this, that a biography of Abraham Lincoln that was registered. Listen, so according to this remedial guy, a biography of Abraham Lincoln that was possibly re-registered under copyright law. According to that logic, Congress created Abraham Lincoln too. We gotta stop. Family. Dane Calloway is arguing as though the Underground Railroad was a real, literal railroad. It wasn't. It was figurative speech. Okay? The historical Underground Railroad that we all know and hear about was not a literal railroad, Dan Calloway. It wasn't real. All right. A lot of times it operated as safe houses, guides, abolitionists, free black communities, sympathetic churches, transportation routes, hiding places. You got legal assistance, informal communication networks, right? Okay, what else we got here? Yeah, so yeah, that's a big blunder. So when he was talking about Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad family earlier, he had in parentheses train. He called her a train conductor. He thinks it's a real railroad. He thinks Miss Thing is operating a real train. This is embarrassing. Hold on. Here we go with this foolishness. Okay. So Dan Calloway. The railroad rhetoric was metaphorical, my guy. So when they said conductors, it wasn't a real train conductor. It was the guides. She was guiding people away from the plantation. Also, what else? What else we got here? So conductors were guides. The stations were not real. The stations were safe places, my guy. And there was no real passengers, okay? The passengers was people escaping slavery. It was metaphorical. The Underground Railroad wasn't a real railroad with railroad tracks, my guy. It was the clandestine escape network. How people were funneled away from slavery to over here. He really believes that it was a real railroad. That's why I call him Remedial Calloway. Okay. So, no, there was no ancient continent, wide underground railroad, okay, carrying enslaved people to Canada, my guy. Right? That claim was contradicted by the 19th century documents, abolitionist correspondence, fugitive slave notices, autobiographies, and anti-slavery record. That's because this guy said it was an ancient continent, wide underground railroad carrying enslaved people to. I don't know. Like I'm lost. Okay, so now let's go back. So we had 34. Let's go back right here.
The National Center for the Study of Afro.
Hold on. I ain't where I want to be.
Anyway, I also shared detailed information concerning the truth about the Underground Railroad being an actual transit system. And I did this years ago, but now you guys are telling me that Amazon Prime came out with a documentary. I'll go look at it. I think it was a documentary or some type of movie talking about the Underground Railroad being an actual transit system. But I'm sure people out there listening to me, you know, they taking notes. I'm happy, you know, that that's happening because a lot more people need to wake up.
Yeah, because you said some foolishness. So people like, yo, who's this Remedial guy with this pseudo research?
Like, I'm tired of being taught lies. I'm tired of being fed bull crap. Like, I'm against all of that, guys. I'm really about the real truth, because who else to tell our story but us? Okay. So, yeah, and that actual transit system has been in existence for centuries, and I mean centuries, even before these pale faces came over here on the boat.
He thinks it's real. Listen.
And they have no correlation with any of those safe houses, okay, as history so loves to claim. Okay. In fact, In my video on Harriet Tubman, I shared the public law.
Why does Keith fall?
Directly from Congress that enabled the National Park Service Department and the Secretary of the Development, of the Department of Interior to literally select any random dwelling that they felt was best suited to be deemed as, and furthermore utilized as a historical site for the implementation of the indoctrinating stories surrounding slavery in America and the Underground Railroad. By way of the, what were they called? The National, let me see if I can pull this up.
So the book he mentioned earlier on Amazon Prime, Family, it was, okay, the dude that wrote the book was wide known to be a fictional alternate history story based on Colson Whitehead novel, right? In that novel, the story of the railroad was metaphorical. It was a metaphorical underground railroad that was deliberately being imagined as a real subterranean train. So he let people in the chat mention something, and he took it. It's kind of hard to do a reaction because the guy believes the railroad was real.
It was the National Center for the Study of Afro-American History. And
okay, y'all ready to laugh? Y'all ready to laugh? Okay. Watch this.
Aunt Lee shares her entire story throughout these documents. And I say Aunt Lee because this step was not necessary for her to do in order to be granted a pension for her being married to her late husband. It was unnecessary. And hold on, y'all. Hold up. Whoever calling me, hold up. And according to these documents alone, she mentions everything in detail about herself. But she did not once mention her original name being mentioned.
Okay, and the dude, I don't know if it's me or not, but he come off with an accent. Like, I was starting to believe none of these guys are actually foundational. Like, we got to stop giving folks benefit of the doubt. Like, this guy is coming off as he's West Indian.
Nor her name being changed from Minty to Araminta Ross, as some of you may assume. Okay, there is no evidence of her original name being either of these aliases, just fictional stories that were all told by authors and or movie script writers, period. Okay, and according to these documents,
period.
Hold on.
The scary music is like really just doing the most.
Okay, and according to these documents, Harriet has, let me see, Harriet has admitted that she didn't have any children.
Okay.
By neither of her husbands.
Hey, family, listen to this remedial logic. So he said, documentation points to Harriet Tubman admitted she had no biological children. Watch how he used that to say she didn't exist. This is ridiculous. Listen to this remedial logic. But you know what? People follow this guy. This guy gets 30,000 views, something crazy, and he's allowed to do this, make this crazy connection. Okay, so he said documents pointed to Harriet Tubman did not have any biological kids from either of her marriages. So one more time.
Didn't have any children. Okay, and according to these documents, Harriet has, let me see. Harriet has admitted that she didn't have any children.
Okay.
By neither of her husbands.
Okay. What about
She
it?
stated, quote, "I never had any children or child by the soldier," referring to her first husband, "nor by John Tubman." Clearly. I mean, if she wrote this, that's what she's saying.
Okay, no kids. Okay, what's your point?
Children or child by the soldier. Referring. Let me sip this tea then.
Yeah, sip your tea, my guy.
So how can any of you be allegedly related to her by bloodline, as you claim, when you can't even confirm her real original name? Okay, nor
Is that even logical? So if I run around and start a whole new life in Indiana, right, or Illinois, the rural area, I run around, start a new life, and I give him a fake some Catch Me If You Can, Leonardo DiCaprio stuff, and I give a fake name, fake everything. You dig? And my whole life is fake over there. Okay, my whole history I do over there is fake. Does that mean I no longer have siblings? Like this is crazy remedial logic. Because there's no official record of her real name, then she can't have siblings or mom and dad. Dude, I mean, this is crazy. But like I said, this is enough for some people.
does she have any offspring to carry?
Okay, so we are definitely in info wars. Ain't no diaspora wars. We are in. We are in info wars. We're like really just warring over the minds of the people at this point. She got no siblings. I'm sorry, she got siblings, but she got no kids. And somehow that means she don't have siblings. Because she never disclosed. I'm just going by his logic. Because she never exposed her real name. So because she didn't say her real name somehow, or no documents that show her real name, somehow nothing is true now. She never existed. See, this is weird logic, man. This ain't even normal. Hold on. Okay. So the scary music.
When you can't even confirm her real original name, okay, nor does she have any offspring to carry her bloodline into the next generations to come.
What about it?
You can't. You just can't.
And what?
But you know what you can do?
What's that?
You can find a family that's willing to be paid a large sum of money to act as if they are blood related to Harriet. Who would do such a thing? The same people that were ordered by Congress to create the story to begin with.
Oh my God, the government. Like this guy came up with a whole remedial conspiracy theory and people are soaking this one up. Okay.
Oh, and they also had to find some family pictures that were left unclaimed over the years by their original family members, because our people still nowadays are so far behind on conducting genealogy research by records of their individual families that they continuously allow strangers to tell them who they are without any hesitation or room for questioning its accuracy or validity.
Now, family, he's reading all of this. Like this whole 2 hour live, he's just reading notes about opinions. Like, dude, I understand you're reading some historical stuff. He's reading opinions on, like, dude, you could say your real opinion in real time. That's kind of weird.
And nowadays it's worse because our people have become too damn comfortable with some stranger's point of view or opinion that they somehow believe that a genealogy DNA test can actually tell them their historical genetic makeup overall, when that technology can't exist without digging up each of the graves of their own family members here in America first. You got to dig up each one. Cause see, look,
Hey, family,
I really want y'all to think about this. Are they
where did he get that from? You got to dig up who I like, dude. Like at some point, you got to source up. Where did you get? You got to dig up each DEAD relative to establish a genetic profile. Like, what science teaches that? One more time.
of the can actually tell them too damn comfortable.
And family, he's reading this. Like, I would give him a break if he just like off the top winging it. He's reading these lies. He put these on paper. Look at this.
With some stranger's point of view or opinion that they somehow believe that a genealogy DNA test can actually tell them their historical genetic makeup overall, when that technology can't exist without digging up each of the graves of their own family members here in America.
So to get a real genetic profile, we got to dig up all of our relatives. Listen.
America first. You got to dig up each one. Cause see, look.
Wait. Where'd you get that from? Where did you read to get to establish a genetic profile, DNA profile? You got to dig up your relatives. Where did you get that from?
I really want y'all to think about this. Are they comparing your data with the deceased? Absolutely not. They tell you that you are limited to comparing your data with other living people. So they are limited to just comparing your data with other living people, period. It stops right there. So you can't determine.
Oh, this is the guy. Yeah, I look, when Tariq was trolling this guy with cartoons and stuff, puppets, I did not understand what he was saying. He was saying period. I did not know he was referring to this guy. I mean, I knew he was saying it, but I didn't understand why. Because when he was trolling this guy, I had never knew who this guy was, never seen him before. When Tariq was trolling this guy and cooking him, I never knew who this guy was. I never seen him before, never heard him before. So I didn't get the joke, but it was funny. Because Tariq is funny. So it was funny, but I didn't get it. Period.
Just comparing your data with other living people, period.
Not the
It
period.
stops right there.
Not the period.
So you can't determine someone's historical background by comparing traits of other living people today. Doesn't work like that.
Wait. Run that back one more time. Just one more time.
So you can't determine someone's historical background by comparing traits of other living people today. Doesn't work like that.
And by the way, family, he's reading this. So that means, like, you know, this mistake could have been avoided. That means he didn't fact check himself before he put it on wax. And this is the prime example of confirmation bias. You're just reading anything from anywhere that sides with your crazy belief that Harriet Tubman never existed. You're reading any source. You don't care who read it, where it's from, how credible, debunked before. You don't care. It just gotta agree with you, what you got going on, and that's good enough. And this was the case in point. You got to dig up your ancestors to build a genetic DNA profile.
There's nothing historic about that method. Straight up. There's nothing historic about it. So what makes you think it's actually real now? Because you see other people doing it?
That's why.
These people don't know your family's history. These people do not know your family's history. Nor can they tell you the name of your fifth-time great-grandmother, for example, without any historical form of documentation. They can't tell you that. So to go back to what I was saying, since you're satisfied with the stranger's graduation evaluation form as your historical genetic makeup, the government has made it law, right up under your nose, to hand select a random family portrait and say that's Harriet Tubman right there. Uncritically now. Uncritically. That's sad. For example, hold on, let me pull this up. I got an example.
It's so boring. The scary music, dude. Knock it off, man. It's eerie. I ain't gonna be able to sleep, man.
According to Cornell University Library, this is in the Division of Rare Manuscript Collections. Listen to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on that Turner next. All right. So now this guy said to establish a DNA genetic profile, you need to dig up your ancestors. Family, I just want to know where he got that from. What science said that? Obviously, you don't gotta you don't need DNA. You don't need DNA. You don't need DNA from your ancestors. You don't need it from every ancestor. I should say you don't need it from every ancestor. He's bugging. All we got to do is make sure that these people are related to you, and it starts right there. All right. So the genetic genealogy works scientifically because living living descendants, not the ancestors, living descendants inherit portions of DNA from previous generations. You got that? So the genetics are passed on. So if two people share a sufficiently long segment of DNA, they may have inherited that segment from a common ancestor who died long ago. Okay? So you don't have to exhume that ancestor to establish that the two living people share inherited DNA. You ain't got to do that. Okay, so look at this. You have adoption searches. You have unidentified remains cases, cold cases. You got criminal investigations. You got paternity and kinship testing, right? You want to know if you the daddy, you be the pappy. And you have forensic genealogy, right? That's what it's for. Nothing here said is here. DNA test is here to tell you who you were 500 years ago, or tell who you are now 500 years later. Okay, so listen. His his lie, his conspiracy theory lie about DNA only compares you with living people, so there's nothing historical about it. That's cat. Listen, if your grandmother died, I'm sorry, TikTok, I love you. If your grandmother moved on to the spirit world, right? God forbid. And that happened before you were born. You got it? You can still inherit her DNA. And it's through your parents because your grandmother had a daughter or a son. Does that make sense? So now Harriet Tubman had no brother named John Stewart. Therefore, the later family identification is fraudulent. So whoever, okay. God, man, like this guy's all over the place.
Rare and manuscript collections. In 2002, mind you, their description of this photo says, photograph of Harriet Tubman and 7 Negro tenants. Undated.
The music. Yeah, the music is just too much, man. It's too scary.
Once again, photograph of Harriet Tubman and 7 Negro tenants. Undated. And then the government decides to add more to the story of Harriet, and even this picture 3 years later on 8/31/2005 by way of, guess who? The National Park Service, claiming that this is a photo of Nat Turner and her adopted daughter.
Nat Turner.
And her adopted daughter.
Wait, then you mean Harriet Tubman?
Her husband and 5 other friends. And then it says that one of those friends is allegedly the granddaughter of, listen to this, Harriet Tubman's brother, John Stewart. Nah. So you got to be aware of the story to understand why this is totally incorrect. Okay? I mean, to the point where you could catch them in so many lies. Because according to Harriet Tubman's original biography that was written by the Quaker named Sarah Bradford that I went over during the video of Harriet Tubman, Harriet's alleged siblings were one second. Let me get this up here.
Take your time. Take your time.
Lena in 1802.
My fault.
Mariah Riddy in 1811. Soft, I think I'm pronouncing that right, in 1813.
What do you think?
Robert in 1816. Then Minty or Harriet in 1822. Then Ben in 1823. Then Rachel in 1825. Then Henry.
I mean, I'm not going to cap. I fell asleep 3 times. Listen to this boring dude. I fell asleep 3 times.
And then it was Moses in 1832. That's it.
Man, hold on. Yeah, I promise you. I fell asleep 3 times, man, live. Listen to this crazy stuff, man. This guy, it's crazy stuff. He's revising history. He knows he's lying, but he'll keep up with it anyway. Okay, hold on. Damn, I'm trying to find the video. Okay. Move. Okay. I think I have the video.
That's it. She never had a brother named John.
Okay.
Never. And they never carried the surname Stewart in their family neither. And that's according to the original author of her story. So I'm telling you, when I'm gonna expose it all. When I see something fraud, I'm gonna call it out. And that should make you ask some questions like, so did the family decide to come up with her brand new sibling and brand new surname that hasn't been recorded until 2005? And all of these different stories should make you wonder, does the family get any compensation for the multiple books and movies that have been created surrounding this Nat Turner? I mean, the Harriet Tubman story? The answer is no. In fact, in the video, I informed you who gets compensated by law and Harriet's name, or estate rather. And those people are definitely not related to her. Nor have they even met her a day in their life. Because, tell me this, how can you even meet a person that has never existed before? I'm gonna say it again. How can you even meet a person that has never existed before? And I'm gonna answer that for you. By the use of imagination. So look, I put those records on screen, guys. Put those records on screen. All those affidavits. If you want copies of the records that I have on Harriet Tubman, subscribe to my Patreon. Inbox me on Patreon. I put them out. Okay. Now, let's get straight into this. First of all, number one, let's start off like this. Anybody that's claiming to be a descendant of Nat Turner, character, let me say that right, of the character, Nat Turner, they're lying.
Could you say so, right? They're just lying.
Just like how many people out there claiming to be descendants of some African warriors, like the Zulu tribe, for example. Just because they're familiar with the stories told to them about the Zulu tribe may be winning war battles or may have some form of royalty out there in Africa. So they just want to fit in a crowd of people that have absolutely no idea who they are. And yet they have the nerve to call themselves kings and queens. Not realizing that those terms were not even utilized in places like Africa, for example, because most of the African natives can only speak their native tongues.
What are we doing, man? This ain't this about Harriet Tubman.
Y'all gotta pay
You
attention.
you gotta stop being
Gotta pay
remedial.
attention.
You gotta take your medicine.
Now, in my re-release version of my video concerning that, I played a clip
Oh my
of
God.
a news broadcast.
A news
And
broad.
in this clip, there was a guy by the name of Bruce
He said
Turner.
he played a news clip. That's your research, a news clip? That's not scholarship, man.
Claiming to be the great grandson of Nat Turner.
Okay.
And this is sad.
Okay, so he claimed to be the great grandson. He did? Let me see. Wait, so what does that mean?
Grandson of Nat Turner was a guy by the name of Bruce Turner, claiming to be the great grandson of Nat Turner.
Okay. So if he lied, that means she don't exist? So if I pass away, transition, and somebody said they were my son or daughter 100 years later, and let's say they were not honest, that means I did not exist? Like Umar said he was Frederick Douglass, somebody's cousin, and the family said, no, you're not. So does that mean Frederick Douglass no longer exists? Like, the logic is crazy.
And this is sad, honestly. It is. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. But anyway, he goes on and shows a binder that could have been considered his family's portfolio.
Where's my phone, man?
Then he came prepared to show you a picture of Nat Turner on national television, mind you.
Okay.
As if the editors at the news station couldn't just simply Google an image of Nat Turner, since one doesn't exist anywhere.
Oh my God. Hey yo, with this poor scholarship compared to my complex scholarship, all the stuff I go through, I need some real flowers. I need people to really start supporting, pulling up to all my live events. This is what's out there. If I go away, you're stuck with this type of research. My God, he got the music in the background. It's making me fall asleep over and over and over. Oh my God.
Oh man.
I can't find my phone now.
They could have just used what they found on Google. Or maybe it would be looked as more authentic if an alleged descendant of Nat would bring his family's portfolio.
Wait. So the news company is in on this conspiracy 100 years later. So the news anchor and these people are trying to convince Black Americans that Harriet Tubman exists. Like, so this is a national lie. She's that important. It's a national lie to convince people that Harriet Tubman exists. And you were the whistleblower. You only. God. Oh my God. All right, come on. What the hell is it? Why keep sending me over here, man? All right, so I'm gonna go to my phone and then I'm going to bed. So I'm gonna switch to my phone. I'm gonna play a little more, then I'm going to bed. Like the guy is not even making points anymore. He's just talking. And I'm sure he's gonna be just as bad on Nat Turner. Oh my God. Yeah, so I guess a part 2 will be tomorrow on this. And okay. Okay. All right. So what am I doing? I'm tripping. Here we go. All right, bear with me, because I gotta start getting sleepy. I mean, it's put me to sleep. Now I'm back up. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely go to sleep playing this. God damn, man. What's up, man, with these smartphones? What's up? Okay, come on, man.
Will bring his family.
The trial of
Oh,
Dwayne
God, I didn't even press that.
Will bring his family's portfolio and hold it up for the camera to see, or rather the public. I meant to say the public. Hold it up for everybody to see.
Hold it up for the camera to see. I meant to say the public. Dude, you're remedial.
On Google. Or maybe it will be looked as more authentic if an alleged descendant of Nat will bring his family's portfolio and hold it up for the camera to see, or rather the public.
How does the camera see?
I meant to say the public.
Too late. You said the
Hold it up
camera.
for everybody to see.
You meant to say the public, but you said the camera. Come on, man.
In order to set the tone, as if he's somehow creditable now.
Wait, what?
But see, the picture he just everybody to see.
Hey, yo, why did he say credible funny?
In order to set the tone, as if he's somehow creditable now.
What the hell is creditable? Yo, what the hell is creditable? What is creditable? The dude said creditable. What is that?
Hold it up for everybody to see. In order to set the tone, as if he's somehow creditable now.
Family, what is creditable? When I say he's remedial, who's in doubt now? The dude said more creditable. He said to sound more creditable. What the hell is creditable?
But see, the picture he decides to show the public is an illustration drawn by an artist, which was strictly drawn for, hold on, let me pull this up, which was strictly drawn for the attention, or for the intention to be published inside of the book entitled The Negro in Our History by Carter G. Woodson on the date of January 1922, according to the Library of Congress. January 1922. So in 1922, the artist knows exactly how Nat Turner looks if no previous picture of Nat existed before? Of course not. So what did he use to portray this image of Nat Turner?
What did he use?
His imagination.
Oh my God.
Right? Am I right or wrong?
You're wrong. Why this scary music, man?
Let me pull this up. Because not only that,
Let me pull this up real quick. All right. According to Thomas Gray, the lawyer who allegedly sat with Nat while he was in jail in order to record Nat's alleged voluntary statement of guilt, he published inside of his Confessions of Nat Turner in 1831, documenting that, quote, "We, the undersigned, members of the court, convened at Jerusalem on Saturday, the 5th day of November, 1831, for the trial of Nat, alias Nat Turner, a Negro slave, late the property of Putnam Moore,
Why on Nat Turner?
deceased, do hereby certify."
I wasn't done with Harriet Tubman.
Once again, photograph of Harriet Tubman and 7 Negro tenants, undated. And then the government decides,
I got the government,
to add more to the story of Harriet.
Not the government.
And even this picture, 3 years later, on 8/31/2005, by way of, guess who? The National Park Service.
Wait, why would the federal government, wait, what?
Claiming that this is a photo of Nat Turner and her adopted daughter.
Nat Turner is not a her. You meant to say Harriet Tubman, man.
And her adopted daughter, her husband, and 5 other friends. And then it says that one of those friends is allegedly the granddaughter of, listen to this, Harriet Tubman's brother, John Stewart. Nah. So you got to be aware of the story to understand why this is totally incorrect. Okay? I mean, to the point where you could catch them in so many lies, because according to Harriet Tubman's original biography that was written by the Quaker from Geneva named Sarah Bradford that I went over during the video of Harriet Tubman, Harriet's
If you watch this video and you for 1 second believe this guy was kicking Alex, I'm not gonna say it. I have nothing nice to say about you. If you think this dude is kicking knowledge, that's sad. That's sad, man. This is sad.
alleged siblings were one second. Let me get this up here. Lena in 1808, Mariah Riddy in 1811, Soft, I think I'm pronouncing that right, in 1813, Robert in 1816, then Minty or Harriet in 1822, then Ben in 1823, then Rachel in 1825, then Henry 1830, and then it was Moses in 1832. That's it. That's it. She never had a brother named John.
Why didn't she have a brother named John? Why? Why is that so like a big deal? Why she can't have a brother named John? Like, yo, he got this thing sound like the X-Files, yo. My God.
Never. And they never carried the surname Stewart.
Yeah, that's my fault. That was my fault. Because these smartphones, man. These smartphones are just too smart.
We'll bring his family's portfolio and hold it up for the.
All right, so TikTok, we're listening to Dan Calloway try to prove Harriet Tubman never existed. It's pathetic.
Camera to see.
This is very remedial.
Or rather, the public.
It's actually worse than I ever imagined. I never watched this guy until he called out Tariq. I went and watched his call out. I never ever watched this guy ever in my life break down nothing. I did not expect him to be this piss poor. He is terrible. He ain't witty, no gift of gab, nothing. Oh my God. I know he did his research all by himself. He had no think tank at all. I know he did all this research by himself. It sounds like it. It's terrible research. Oh shit, he never existed.
I meant to say the public. Hold it up. We'll bring his family's portfolio and hold it up for the camera to see, or rather,
cameras can't see.
The public. I meant to say the public.
Yeah, well, you said the camera, and the camera can't see.
Hold it up for everybody to see. In order to set the tone. As if he's somehow creditable now.
What the hell is creditable? We still didn't get over that. Dan Calloway, what is creditable? Do you mean credible? Somehow to be credible? What is creditable?
But see, hold it up for everybody to see. In order to set the tone. As if he's somehow creditable now.
Okay. So I want to stop right there on the creditable. Okay. This is hilarious. Who man is this? Is this your king? Is this your leader? Creditable? Oh my, and look. He can't say it's a slippage, right? You know, sometimes we all talk, we're public speakers. Sometimes we mess up, mispronounce something. It's all good. That's not the case. He's reading it. He's reading it. He's looking down. He's reading paper. That means he wrote down creditable. That means he spelled out creditable. This ain't a slip of the tongue. He's not on the top, you know, just going in. He's reading something he wrote down. And he spelled credible as creditable. He did that. Right? That's his notes. Hold on. Hold on. My man said creditable. I question his heritage. I'm suspecting the dude is Caribbean. I'm sorry. Like, he's giving off Caribbean all day with me, man. I don't believe this dude is the lineage. I believe he's Caribbean. Yeah. So for me, he's giving off major Caribbean. And that's not to say Caribbean's a bad thing. I'm just saying I believe his accent that's coming out. I just believe he's not FBA. I believe he's from the Caribbean. You know, it could be anywhere. Beijing, but you know, all that stuff. Bohemian. What's all those fancy things? Look at this. Look at my computer bugging out. Oh my God. Yo, y'all see, I go to click something and it switches.
Now.
Yeah, you know, a smartphone, when you're not intending to do stuff, it'll press everything in the world. But when you're trying to do something, it won't do it. Like, for example, when I'm trying to fast forward or rewind 10 seconds, it doesn't do it. But if I make a mistake and do something, it does it right away. These damn smartphones. Oh, my car is jacked. All right. Okay. Keep in mind, the cult leader, Dan Calloway, He's not off the top with this information. He's reading it, and he wrote down creditable. He wrote down somebody, don't believe somebody because they're not creditable. Okay? I had no idea he was this remedial. Never in my life heard him break down nothing. I never watched none of his content. He was never on my radar. Now I see why. God damn. Whoa. Like he make people we talk to sound so brilliant. And look, based off what I'm hearing so far, I can almost guarantee you he takes no live public calls. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. No way. I don't believe he takes no live calls. Like I do. Anybody can pull up, anybody can get it. I'm the cam man. He don't take no live calls. When you're this remedial, it's no way you take live challenges. It's no way. No way. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. No way he takes live challenges. No way. So one more time, let's hear the creditable. One more time. One more laugh.
We'll bring his family's portfolio and hold it up for the camera to see, or rather the public. I meant to say the public. Hold it up for everybody to see. In order to set the tone. As if he's somehow creditable now. But see, the picture he decides to show the public.
My guy, the word is credible, my guy. Write that down. Erase that word and put down credible. Erase creditable and put down credible, okay? I don't want to ever hear you say the word creditable again. All right? Erase creditable and write down in this place credible. Thank you.
Is an illustration drawn by an artist, which was strictly drawn for, hold on, let me pull this up, which was strictly drawn for the attention, or for the intention to be published inside of the book entitled The Negro in Our History by Carter G. Woodson on the date of January 1922. According to the Library of Congress. January 1922. So in 1922, the artist knows exactly how
what's all this ticklish tether stuff?
Nat Turner looks if no previous picture of Nat existed before? Of course not. So what did he use to portray this image of Nat Turner?
His imagination.
His imagination.
How did I guess that correctly?
Right?
No.
Am I right or wrong?
Wrong. Super duper wrong.
Pull this up. Because not only that, let me pull this up real quick.
Go ahead.
All right. According to Thomas Gray, the lawyer who allegedly sat with Nat while he was in jail in order to record Nat's alleged voluntary statement of guilt, he published inside of his Confessions of Nat Turner in 1831, documenting that, quote, "We, the undersigned, members of the court, convened at Jerusalem on Saturday, the 5th day of November, 1831, for the trial of Nat, alias Nat Turner."
Hey, hold on. Okay, because he about to say, this is the remedial alert. He's about to say something crazy as crap. So he said there is no authentic photograph of Nat Turner, but I guess he meant to say Harriet Tubman. And and he's saying what you're looking at that point, what was being shown was a later illustration. Okay. Okay. Oh my God. I mean, like he keeps saying Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman. Which one we on right now? Which one?
a Negro slave.
Okay, so he's talking about Nat Turner now.
Late November 1831, I quote, "We, the undersigned, members of the court, convened at Jerusalem on Saturday, the 5th day of November, 1831, for the trial of Nat."
Okay, with Nat Turner. Yeah, but this don't sound creditable.
Alias Nat Turner, a Negro slave, late the property of Putnam Moore, deceased, do hereby certify that the confessions of Nat to Thomas R. Gray was read to him in our presence. Listen to that. And that Nat acknowledged the same to be full, free, and voluntary. Now, it's a few things I want to point out here. First of all, this confirms that the name Nat Turner is an alias. And to those of you that don't know what an alias is, it means a false name. A name totally different from a person's birth name.
But I don't think alias means a false name. Yeah, I don't think that's the definition of alias. I think an alias is a name. Okay, all right. Well, I'm not gonna fight it. Okay, fine. Okay, false name. Let's go with it.
This also means that the surname Turner is not his actual last name.
Uh-oh. Whitlock.
See? So that great grandson named Bruce Turner is being paid to act as if he's a descendant of Nats.
Wait, hold on.
When it's strictly...
Wait, so hold on. So people are getting paid. Yo, listen, the paid narrative, family, that's so remedial, that's so childish. So people are sitting there collecting a small check, $500, to pretend Harriet Tubman was real. People are getting paid a couple dollars, not even $1,000, maybe $80, $500, $300. How much are you really paying people to just lie and say, "Hey, man, that Turner is just all right, see ya"? Like, you're not like, how much? Like, what's the budget for that? You dig? Like, it gotta be small. So that means that people are walking around here knowing they got paid to lie. Yo, we never even bring up Harriet Tubman like that. We hardly bring up Nat Turner. Why do they need to lie about those guys? Like, we reference Dr. King, we reference Malcolm X often. Frederick Douglass, Booker T. We reference them way more than we ever think about Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner. So why would the lie be on the people who we barely talk about?
And for the purpose to stroke your imagination.
This is sad.
Now, within the same quote I just read, it indicated that the confessions of Nat Turner were read to him, and then he acknowledged it all voluntarily. Again, they were read to him and then acknowledged, and then he acknowledged them voluntarily.
Hey, family. Okay, we gotta stop. He said alias. Okay, I forgot. He's reading a real document. Okay, I'm looking at it because I wasn't even looking at I was just like really just listening to the words, family. I didn't even look at the look behind them. Okay, when you reference legal documentation, those words got specific meanings, and they don't always mean what Webster said they mean. Okay, so he just defined alias as a false name. It's just a false name. And then he said, because of the false name, that's evidence of fabrication. Like, okay, the logic is missing. Listen, Historically and legally, alias means another name by which a person is known. And that's where I was going to go at first. Then I said, nah, let me just let them have it. Because I really didn't want to fight that. But now I see the background. He got some court case over there. No. Okay, so alias does not mean just a fake false name, therefore everything's fake. That's not what it means in the way he's reading it. Okay? No. Alias in court in the legal term, legalese, alias it means another name by which a person is known. So for example, if you ever know somebody who's locked up, they're gonna have their aliases there along with their real name. And those names don't represent just fake names. No, the names they got on the jail record as aliases, those are to let people know this person is also known by this, that, and this. That's why they put that there. They don't put that there because they're fake and this person not real because they're fake names. No, they put that there because he's also known by these three names. So if you hear these three names, it's probably the same guy. That's why they put it there. Because you're known by those names, not because the names are fake and don't listen to them. Okay. God.
This is sound familiar to many people who have watched those.
Okay, so he's stuck on the surname. Oh, it changed. But again, this is somebody who don't research surnames at that time, man. Hey, y'all, if y'all know anything about Booker T. Washington family, he got a book called Up from Sleep. I got the physical copy. Okay, the book he talks about a lot of former enslaved people who were free. The first thing they did was start to change their name. That's in Booker T. Washington's book, Up from Slavery. This was a common practice for people to not have the name they had when they were in slavery. They didn't want any ties to their master, so a lot of them had changed their last name. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. I mean, listen, family, this guy is so, I would have never imagined, because I hear all like his name is always around in circles and he gets views. So I kind of automatically thought like he'd be like kind of spitting a little bit. I would have never imagined him to be this weak. I would have never imagined him to be this weak with the information, weak arguments. I mean, this is wild.
Bad guy, good cop shows. Or
All right, you know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is do that. Probably tomorrow, 3:30. At 3, I mean, probably like 5 o'clock. Yeah. I mean, but that is terrible research. That is terrible research, man. Terrible research on another level. I would have never imagined Buddy research was that bad. And people follow this guy. Like he has a following. He gets hella views, 5-digit views. That's why I don't feel bad anymore. Like when I look at my views and ain't up there with people like him, it's like, yo, this is what they're into. Now I can do that. I can go ahead and make up stuff and make it sound good, and I can do that better than him. But I just cannot. I just can't, man. I just can't. Like I just can't do that. That just. I just can't. I just can't sit there and he's really bad at it. He's really bad at it. All right. Yes, he uses primary sources, but he misreads them. You get it now? Just because you have, okay, so if you walk into a crime scene, you're a detective. You see a knife, you see red thing, something look like blood, and you see a body. That's evidence. You see a knife, you see red blood, and you see a body that looks like a knife, punctured them. That's the evidence. But if you conclude that this was a let's say if you conclude that this is a Halloween reenactment, you're wrong. If you think this is fake, the knife, the body, the blood, you say, nah, she ain't transition. They're playing a game. So you get that? You can have evidence, but if your explanation is bad, it's bad. So you guys are caught up on that. Okay, so now I see how he got you. He's saying, hey, I got primary documents. Look, they're primary documents. So therefore, I get to misrepresent these primary documents, and you got to accept it because they're primary documents. So I can misrepresent what I'm looking at. I just told you he defined alias as a false name. In legalese terms, that's not what an alias is. An alias is other ways this person is called. And I gave an example. If you look up anybody in the penal system, you'll see their name and you'll see their aliases. And that's not there to say, hey, these are fake names. Look, his real name is John. No, that's not what that's for. It's to let you know that John is also called Josias, Jubilee, and JJ. Okay? That's what that's for. So you know how he's called, the other names he uses to identify himself. So dude is very bad with information. And don't get emotional. Don't get emotional. You dig? If he's right and he's on point, then my reaction should mean nothing. It should just check out, right? If he's so on point and he knows what you're doing, then my assessment shouldn't even matter because he's correct anyway. Okay, so again, 5 a.m. Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to about 6:30 p.m. Come through, check me out. I gotta go. I stay longer than what I want. I was not gonna even do this today. I was gonna do it tomorrow, right? Afternoon. But I see, no, I got a little time. And I went over my time by at least 30 minutes. Or get going towards an hour. Okay. So anyway, love you guys. Make sure you hit the Cash App $unbiased Ron. Like the video. Remember some of my talking points. I want you guys to be smart. I want folks just to tap in and be entertained. Listen to what I say and try to learn it. Okay, so 5 a.m. pull up. Normally we get some tethers, but hopefully we get some tomorrow. If not, I'm gonna still cook on information. I'll play a couple of videos, Tariq videos. Peace. Be one. Gotta go.